A cute little beginner zone. Everyone is happily grinding slimes on launch day. But wait, a total menace is lurking in the bushes, hunting for fresh meat. This guy unlocked an illegal class with one twisted daily quest: slaughtering noobs. See this dude trying to rizz up an e-girl. He is about to learn that rizz without stats equals absolute humiliation. Our menace creeps up. Sup, bro, I am Dex. The dude practically soils his armor and gets perfectly sliced in half before he can even squeak. The bystanders flabbergasted. No, totally traumatized. They scatter like roaches screaming out. The servers just went up. How is he one-shotting everyone? Let us rewind. Day 1. Server launch. While normal tryhards sprint to farm goblins are psychopath, he strolls right into the library, the lovely receptionist. And the glasses mommy non-player character are totally baffled. Reading. On launch day. They bet this absolute nerd would not survive an hour outside. But he ignores them, demanding more lore. Now I hate studying, but I would become a top-tier mathematician just to calculate the curves on that glasses. Mommy. Our main character, however, he is cooking up a massive scheme. After speed reading the entire library, he hits the jackpot. A hidden legend about a legendary treasure the oldest trace of. Pure darkness. Bro connects the dots, pinpoints a random lake, and boom. Looks peaceful, right? But something ancient sleeps under the surface. Time to go fishing. He dives right in. But wait, this puddle feels like an endless abyss. He gasps for air and ding. His diving skill hits rank B. He hesitates for a split second. The servers just went live. Everyone is out there getting swole. But a hidden quest you do not just walk away from. Sweet, sweet gaming destiny. So back to splashing. 10 days pass. Boom, rank A diving unlocks the prize. The system warns him to think carefully. But hesitation. My boy does not know the word flash. His class instantly changes to the bard of anarchy. A psychotic quest pops up. But wait, how is Dex already this ridiculously overpowered? Listen up. These noobs play to win. He plays to watch the world burn. 5 versus 1. Sounds like my lonely Friday nights. With one swing, he casually deletes the entire squad. He should be hyped. But nope, just bored. Hitting rank 1 was child's play. So he did the most logical thing ever. He hit delete character. Then he jumped straight into a brand new virtual reality game. A game that would actually shatter reality itself. Fast forward to his first bloodbath in the beginner zone. Night falls and victim number 2 is sprinting for his life, squealing like a piglet. Bro is so terrified he forgets how feet work. He completely misses a massive tree root and absolutely eats dirt. While he groans in the mud, a bright red system pop-up announces a brutal debuff. Movement speed nerfed. He is cursing the developers when he slowly turns his head. And there it is. Pure nightmare fuel. 2 glowing eyes piercing through the dark. The apex predator has finally caught up. Yup, it is Jan rocking a shady hooded robe and looking exactly like a budget Grim Reaper. The green-haired noob sees Jan's absolutely psychotic grin and loses his damn mind. He scrambles backward like a crab until his back slams into a tree. He starts crying. I did not do anything. I was just hunting slimes, bro. Why are you trying to delete my existence? Jan 0 words. Just a cold stare as he casually raises his blade to swing. Green hair squeezes his eyes shut, ready to meet his maker. But wait, he screams out his final trump card. You think the game masters will let this slide? It is day 1. I am totally hitting the report button. You toxic hacker Jan actually freezes mid-swing. Wait, what? Who do you think told me? To do this, Greenhair's brain completely short-circuits. Wait, the developer sent you, but he gets 0 explanation. Because Jan violently unalives him on the spot. Ding, a sweet kill notification pops up. Another fresh noob claimed, his evil stats increase by 1. Our psycho just lets out a massive yawn. Manslaughtering requires a nap. Now check this out. In the world of Arcadia, death is brutal. You die, you get a 24-hour ban. The developers wanted realism to force sweaty gamers to touch grass. The virtual reality pod literally locks you out. Meanwhile, back in the real world, that green-haired victim is throwing a monumental tantrum. He is screaming at customer support, unban me, why am I grounded? Just because some hooded psycho griefed me. Cut to the Arcadia developer office where the poor staff members are literally drowning in report tickets. Head developer Mung Chan stares at his monitor with dead, soulless eyes. What in the actual hell is happening on my servers? A totally stressed intern cries out that the player kill reports are breaking the system. Mung Chan snaps his pencil. Mass murder complaints. On day 1, as if we did not have enough bugs, which toxic player is doing this? And just like that, absolute chaos explodes in the developer room. Cut back to our menace Jan. He is chilling, checking his status menu, and it looks utterly pathetic. Level 0. His class, the chaotic bard of anarchy. And because of this troll class, All his base stats are absolute trash. He stares at the pathetic numbers, casually remembering how he just butchered over 1,000 players. 48 hours awake, he lets out a massive yawn. Going on an endless killing spree is absolutely exhausting. He is officially the most hated gamer alive. Dealing with that digital rage is mentally draining. Now he wonders, is karma finally striking back? Ever since launch day, our protagonist has been treating absolutely everyone like mere practice dummies. Instant wipes. The game masters definitely noticed. But hey, the system literally forced this ridiculous quest onto his plate. Why make him the villain? Yoon opens his glowing interface. He rolls his eyes, muttering that if the developers get mad, that is their problem. Suddenly, a squishy sound breaks the silence. He whips around only to find a squad of wobbly slimes. These little jelly blobs bounce toward him, practically vibrating with joy. Ding, the system chimes. You rescued the slimes and gained their loyalty. Yoon stands there completely and utterly baffled. Wait, what is happening? He screams. The blob army swarms him instantly, nuzzling against his armor like excited puppies. One even plops onto his head. A genuine laugh escapes him. He thought he was server enemy number 1, but at least the monsters love him. But wholesome time gets cut short. Angry voices echo. Fiery torches pierce the darkness. Yoon's face goes completely deadpan. He gently pats a slime on its jiggly head. Sorry, buddies. I got a blast before the angry mob arrives. A whole squad of torch-wielding players is hunting him through the dark woods, scouring the area like a literal witch trial, leading the pack. That furious green-haired dude Yoon totally wrecked earlier. Looks like his 24-hour death penalty is over. The guy locks eyes on Yoon's retreating back. There is the bastard. Get moving. The entire army charges forward. Yoon dashes through the trees like a ninja, but suddenly, the ground disappears. He slams on the brakes. Facing the ultimate revenge squad, Green Hair smirks like a total supervillain, roaring, "Checkmate, you absolute troll. It is a dead end, nowhere to run." The mob thinks he is completely trapped. Yoon silently absorbs their endless trash talk. Then, a delightfully chaotic thought hits him. A devilish smirk spreads across his face. Teetering on the edge, with zero panic, he just gives a lazy salute and casually falls backward. The mob rushes the cliff, staring down the dizzying drop. Greenhair's jaw hits the floor. Did this absolute madman really jump? Plot twist, Yoon smirks in midair and hits the logout button during freefall like a boss. Meanwhile, the official game forums are practically burning down. A viral video drops. Breaking news, the gaming maniac. It is a merciless highlight reel of our guy. The comment section is having a massive meltdown. Is this real? The server just opened. How is he this terrifying? Wait, is he role-playing as an actual psycho? Honestly, that is kind of awesome. I want a front row seat when karma catches him. Did you see those epic loot drops? His mechanics are god tier. But seriously, why the endless slaughter? Is he just a troll? Meanwhile, Green Hair is raging behind his monitor, furiously typing away. He drops a massive forum post. Listen up, I was a victim. He absolutely clapped me 2 days ago, so I did the math on this lunatic. Guys, I found 700 confirmed kills, and he is literally camping the starter zone. The boss monster is a total noob himself. The community gasps. 700 bodies. Is he hacking? Bro, he cannot take on 10 of us at once, right? Green Hair aggressively replies. Exactly my point. That is why we are building an elite anti-troll strike force. We are taking this maniac down. Direct message me for the raid invite. Fast forward. The beginner city is packed. Green Hair stands like a glorious revolutionary leader. Looking down at a massive ocean of vengeful gamers, he nods with ultra-dramatic seriousness. Comrades, let us skip the pleasantries. I officially declare the Troll Extermination Squad open for business. Here is the crazy addictive secret about this game. What keeps players hooked is absolute unhinged freedom to rewrite the entire story. You want to be a hero, a villain, go absolutely crazy. But this dynamic sandbox goes way beyond normal gameplay, because when a giant mob of players unites online, the game literally evolves and creates hidden, unstoppable content, all orchestrated by the ultimate system overlord. Alice deep in the servers, her digital eyes glow with terrifying power. Beep. An alert flashes. Massive player gathering detected. Calculating response. Activating main scenario chain quest. Act 1, Revival of Forgotten Darkness. The system clicks, except on the player-made drama, ding. A global event is born. Flash. A golden holographic screen appears right in front of Green Hair, and then, ping. Every single player gets hit. The system notification reads, Epic quest, hunt the Noob Slayer objective, terminate the serial killer hiding in the starter zone. The massive crowd erupts into unhinged madness. Meanwhile, as this epic in-game war breaks out, over at the real-world headquarters, The system admins are sweating bullets. A giant monitor in the control room violently flashes red. Something catastrophic is starting. The main quest notification drops. The dev team stares in absolute horrified silence. What on earth? The dev absolutely loses his mind, screaming to know who approved this mess. Someone is getting fired today. The dude beside him tries to play it cool, sweating bullets. We are checking it, he lies. But Glasses is not having it. He spins toward the trembling team. The vein on his forehead is throbbing. He roars, asking if any of them know how to do their jobs. The game just launched, and it is a burning dumpster fire. This hyper-stressed manager is Tahoon. He glares at his colleagues. They stand like silent statues, desperately praying to avoid his wrath. Random quests popping up is usually fine. But this one, a total catastrophe. One terrified dev finally speaks up and drops a massive bomb. This quest is tied to the first act of the main story. Nobody saw this coming. They literally coded the main scenario 2 days ago, and now the first. Major objective is live. This breaks all game logic. Creating a world and actually starting it are totally different things. It is like planting a seed. You definitely do not expect a massive tree to sprout the same day. The devs assumed players would need months to naturally trigger this, but manager Tahoon stares at his tablet doing the mental math. His brain melts. Guys, it has only been exactly 2 days. The timeline is too shattered for a simple bug. An absolute menace did this. He violently pulls up a video on the official channel. Is this the rookie killer? The guy beside him nods in pure terror. Yes. One single player has been camping the beginner zone, unleashing pure hellfire on fresh spawns. Somehow, this absolute psycho just triggered the main storyline. Tahoon is thirsty for blood. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? What is his goal? But suddenly, things get incredibly suspicious. The team tried to investigate, but top brass locked them out. Access denied. Tahoon stares at his screen in disbelief. The head office is defending some troll. His manager brain goes into overdrive. Wait, maybe this guy is not just a casual griefer. Maybe a massive conspiracy is brewing. He checks the kill count and screams, this lunatic slaughtered 1,025 players in 2 days. Damn, he was busy. Meanwhile, the psycho in question is snoring in bed. His dreamer device rests nearby. The man is completely dead to the world. He finally wakes up and lazily checks the official website. Suddenly, his soul leaves his mortal body. A flashy banner screams, "Special event, hunt the killer." The system is literally calling for his head, offering epic loot to anyone who slays the rookie serial killer. Yoon stares at his glowing monitor, in total horror. Wait, what is this garbage? The realization hits like a truck. They are hunting him. He reads 2,637 angry comments. His internal screams echo loud. I am so screwed, he seriously considers deleting his account. Maybe he should just touch grass for a bit. But he glances at his expensive dreamer gear. Quitting means wasting cash. He wrestles with his conscience for exactly 5 seconds before logging back in. Our boy spawns on a breezy hill, staring at some slimes. He sits there utterly baffled. The game system just declared a server-wide holy war on his head. Eyeing the bouncy slime colony, he sighs. This spot was the ultimate newbie farm, but now it is way too hot. Time to pack up and find a new hunting ground. Suddenly, a weird, squishy noise echoes from behind him. Yun spins around. A tiny slime is vibing there, giving him the most pathetic, teary puppy dog eyes ever. Before his brain can process this cuteness, voices echo. 2 players are loudly whining about the mage class. I told you magician was trash, one yells. The other cries about failing to kill a single weak bouncy slime. A green-named player suddenly spots Yun standing near the injured blob. The noisy duo aggressively charges. They go full Karen mode. They scream at him to back off their prey, throwing a massive tantrum about kill steals. We damaged it. It is ours. Yoon ignores their crying, staring deeply into the eyes of the tragic little slime. As these 2 loudmouth rookies sprint toward him in a wild rage, Yoon slowly lifts his head, totally catching them off guard. He pulls his dark hood up and steps forward. The noisy player gets incredibly heated, but his buddy squints in sudden dread. Wait a minute. I have seen that scary outfit before. The demon smiles. There with his hood pulled low, piercing them with a deadly glare. A PS finally snaps, stomping straight up to him. He shoves his shoulder hard and barks, "Are you completely deaf?" Right on cue, Yoon's lips curl into the absolute most wicked smirk. He screams out that APS is a total murderer. Instantly, the guy's player tag flashes crimson red. The dude is utterly baffled, demanding to know what just happened. Suddenly, Yoon collapses like a sack of potatoes, screeching that he is bleeding out, and some absolute lunatic assaulted him. APS starts sweating bullets, shouting, "Bro, I barely even grazed you." But Yoon is delivering an Oscar-winning performance, wailing. It is the legendary newbie slaughterer. He projects his voice so every single gamer nearby can hear. Like moths to a blazing fire, bounty hunters swarm the scene, already tasting that sweet justice gold. A PS frantically tries to debunk the frame job aggressively, pointing at Yoon. He yells that guy is the real psychopath, but as he spins back around, Yoon is already sprinting into the horizon, clutching the slime like a football. The bloodthirsty mob could not care less about actual facts. They only see a glowing red target and fat stacks of cash. They ruthlessly stampede toward APS and Money Shake, who finally connects that demonic grin to a famous viral clip. He screams in sheer terror, "This is a massive misunderstanding. We have been completely played," but the furious mob is deaf to reason. Meanwhile, deep inside the woods, Yoon lounges on a stump with the joyful slime he heroically saved, bragging about his flawless grand escape. He scoops up the bouncing jelly blob, genuinely shocked. It actually tracked him down. It happily nuzzles against his cheek. He chuckles, asking if the little guy is hurt right as the system randomly drops a glowing blue prompt. By saving this fragile creature, its affection completely maxed out. He just unlocked the exclusive title, Friend of the Slimes. Yoon holds the jiggly pet, totally stunned by the flashing alerts. He figures considering how many of these blobs he accidentally protected by slaughtering clueless rookies. Yeah, the achievement checks out. But then reality hits. These pathetic level 1 slimes are totally useless. He needs serious backup. Suddenly, a brand new golden window pops up. He has farmed enough plausibility points and secured the entire slime faction's blessing. He can actually upgrade them using his stash. Yoon glares at the screen, utterly confused, until a status menu reveals the creature's incredibly tragic stats. Then it clicks. A terrifying, villainous grin stretches wide across his face. So, this is the true power of plausibility points. He channels his mana into the slime, confirming he is ready to burn 1,025 points, even if they vanish permanently. Suddenly, deep within the game's hidden cosmic code, a massive monument of the Chaos Bard materializes, blasting a pillar of divine energy straight down onto his squishy companion. The universal system announces a server-wide shift. All slime biological traits have evolved. Every single jelly monster in existence just shot up to level 15, unlocking terrifying new forms. Now you gamers know how every single RPG relies on those weak starter mobs that exist purely for complete noobs to bully and feel incredibly overpowered, right? Like these pathetic creatures are essentially just walking combat tutorials. They only exist so fresh beginners can practice swinging wooden swords without getting totally wrecked. Over in the world of Arcadia, slimes played that exact role. Harmless, squishy blobs just chilling in the woods destined to be farmed by weak level 1 peasants. But what exactly happens when those adorable punching bags suddenly evolve into literal raid bosses that can one-shot innocent newbies? Oh yeah, total mayhem. Absolute beautiful disaster. So the official Arcadia community forum always posts videos with clickbait titles like "Becoming Overpowered with a Rusty Spoon" or "Surviving the Most Cursed Dungeon Ever." Just your totally standard gaming brain rot, right? But then a new clip drops, titled "Slimes Are Broken," and boom, it instantly rockets to over 1.1 million views. Viewers are tuning in, totally expecting cheap clickbait, but oh man, they are horribly mistaken. The footage starts with some random rookie spawning into Arcadia's massive virtual realm. He is completely nerding out over the hyper-realistic graphics, staring at his palms. Amazed he can actually see the tiny pores on his skin. He is admiring the lush forest environment when he spots a bouncing slime just peacefully sunbathing in a grassy clearing, like it is on a tropical resort. Our naive gamer thinks it is precious and smirks, "Yeah, let me easily slaughter this tiny jelly for some quick free XP." He confidently draws his iron sword and approaches. But then, something horribly wrong occurs. The squishy monster spots him, letting out adorable, happy squeaks while staring up with big, sparkling eyes. And then, the tiny blob launches itself forward at blinding supersonic speed. Our poor newbie is completely lost, stammering, "Wait, what is going on?" The slime ruthlessly tackles him with the force of a truck. He screams in pure terror, yelling, "Hold up, time out, somebody save me," right before the camera abruptly cuts to dead static. The very next frame shows a brutal system penalty, announcing his tragic death and slapping him with a 24-hour server ban. The ruthless system literally mocks him, stating, "Please exercise caution. Next time bro got sent to the Shadow Realm by a slime." A basic tutorial slime. The internet comment section absolutely erupted into flames. People were wildly typing, "Wait, did a regular jelly blob actually murder this man?" Asking if he was just acting for views, and how anyone could possibly get one-tapped by the weakest trash mob ever coded. Suddenly, another user confessed they also got obliterated by a bouncing jelly. Now the entire community is panicking with one unified question: did the developers secretly buff the slimes? Meanwhile, cut back to Yoon, our chaotic mastermind. Our guy is just sitting there having an absolute blast, thinking about dropping over 1,000 plausibility points to juice up basic beginner slimes to level 15. Goodbye, cute squishy jellies. Hello, absolute apex predators. And with 10,000 fresh meat newbies logging into Arcadia every single day, it is an all-you-can-eat buffet of absolute destruction. Cut to the starter forest where a little slime is just chilling, looking suspiciously innocent. A player drops a massive attack right on its squishy head, but the jelly boy does not even flinch. The poor guy is having a total mental breakdown, screaming his lungs out because his ultimate strike literally dealt 0 damage. Right behind him, a squishy mage is sprinting for his life, crying tears of sheer terror as a bouncy blob chases him down. He is bawling about getting two-shot by a tutorial mob. While they beg for mercy, Yun is just parked on a rock, eating metaphorical popcorn as this beautiful disaster unfolds. Our evil mastermind is absolutely fascinated. Originally, these jellies were polite little punching bags, total pacifists. But now, they are ruthlessly hunting humans for sport. He scratches his chin, guessing this bloodthirsty behavior comes from the spicy hidden trait he just maxed out. Honestly, he had 0 clue. His troll build would break the game this hilariously fast. Suddenly, Yun spots a green-haired dude who actually had the audacity to form a whole party to farm the jellies. Plot twist, the jellies are farming them instead. Mr. Greenhair is absolutely losing his mind, screaming at the mob of bouncing doom. Out of nowhere, one slime launches itself like a literal heat-seeking missile. The guy goes stiff as a board, completely paralyzed by the sheer disrespect. The squishy meteor crash lands with an epic shockwave kicking up a massive dust cloud. He screams in agony. To the surviving newbies, this bouncy blob looks like a literal raid boss. The jelly happily hops away, as the poor guy shatters into pixels. Ding. The system gleefully announces that a mega slime just deleted a newbie. The witnesses are frozen in absolute dread. One girl just bursts into tears, sobbing that the tutorial trash mob actually one-shotted their tank. Then the savage jelly gang swarms the rest of the party. It is a symphony of screams as the notification window explodes with spam. Newcomer deleted, and for every single death, our boy Yun gets a sweet plausibility point. He is watching this massacre with the most delightfully wicked grin ever. Oh, this is pure art, he chuckles. Way better than I imagined. 2 hours of pure chaos later, Yun casually opens his menu and boom, 3,924 plausibility points sitting right there. He is absolutely hyped, bragging that he farmed a whole mountain of points in just 2 hours. Doing this manually would have taken 10 times forever. Why grind manually when you can create a literal slime apocalypse? It is peak efficiency. He is not even sweating his main quest right now. His quest log demands the blood of classless newbies, and his current kill count, 4,949, and he still has 3 days and 22 hours left on the clock. Being a greedy genius, Yun considers giving his pets another steroid boost. But nope, the system crashes his party, stating level 15 is the absolute cap for these jellies. He sighs dramatically, totally expecting this nerf. Guess the game will not let me become a literal god yet, he mutters. He glances down at his bouncing squishy army of doom and smirks. This level of chaos will do for now. He gives them a cheesy thumbs up, telling them to keep up the good work. Instantly, the adorable little murder blobs bounce with joy, squeaking like absolute angels of death. Meanwhile, back in the real world at Arcadia's Korean branch, it is an absolute zoo. Total panic mode, Director Mai-han absolutely obliterates his desk with a massive slam glaring at his sweating, trembling staff. He roars for an explanation, radiating absolute final boss energy. Everyone is shaking in their boots. Finally, poor employee Tahan steps up, looking like he is marching to the guillotine, stammering out that 320 hours after launch. The starter slime suddenly got jacked on super steroids. The newbie death toll is going straight to the moon, and the servers are literally burning. Mai-han grunts, demanding to know if global headquarters even bothered to answer their distress signals. Tahan nervously squeaks that they have been left on read useless. Mai-han snarls, realizing he has to carry this team. He glares daggers, asking just how insanely buffed these tutorial mobs got. Double the stats. Maybe triple. Tahan avoids eye contact like a guilty puppy and drops the nuke. Sir, they are 10 times stronger. Every single stat got a 10-fold multiplier. Mai-han's jaw literally unhinges, screaming his lungs out. 10 times, not double, not triple, but 10 whole times. The horrific math suddenly clicks in his brain, and he bolts upright, furiously demanding the base health points of a fresh player. Tahan squeaks out, exactly 100 health points, sir, and boom. The director connects the dots. The tutorial slimes are literally one-shotting the player base. The comedic rage instantly vanishes, replaced by dead serious protagonist energy. He struts out, his mind racing. This cannot be a random glitch. Their hyper-advanced system does not just magically break, but the bloodbath in the beginner zone is too real to ignore. If the real-world console gives him nothing, he is going straight into the Matrix. He storms into a high-tech VIP room, slams the VR headset on, and dives straight into the digital realm. Flashy system windows welcome him as a high-tier administrator. He spawns right into the server's sacred void, marching straight toward Alice, a glowing divine AI girl just casually floating in a halo of blue neon light. She slowly flutters her digital eyes, staring down at the raging executive. He is marching up, absolutely desperate to uncover what kind of unhinged psycho broke his beautiful game. Flashback to the actual game world and our absolute menace. Yoon is still camping the starter zone, admiring the apocalyptic wasteland he just created. Where did all the fresh meat go? A quest window suddenly pops up. He realizes the newbie massacre rate has completely tanked. Rumors spread that this zone is pure nightmare fuel. With no fresh spawns level, 15 veterans began invading the starter area, their goal, farming slimes for cheap experience. But our guy and his slime legion have been happily welcoming them to hell. Gazing at the mountain of looted corpses, he smirks. Yeah, this is an absolute goldmine. The death toll creeps up slowly, until it finally hits 10,000 and locks. A shiny system alert rings out, congratulating him for finishing this ridiculously exhausting grind. He is officially the most infamous menace in all of Arcadia. Title acquired Rookie Killer. The system declares his loot has evolved into a medium-tier prize. A glowing treasure box drops from the sky, stamped with the words, medium reward. Jan's eyes turn into dollar signs. Jackpot. He aggressively smashes the accept button without a second thought. But what happens next? Total absolute chaos. A blinding purple flash explodes right in his face. It is so ridiculously bright, he practically goes blind. Jan feels this monstrous aura and starts completely losing his mind. What the heck is this? Was the loot actually a death trap? Why is everything flashing like a bad rave party? Suddenly, a deep purple core materializes. It pulses with dark energy so heavy it could wipe him from reality. He stares at it, sweating bullets. Is this really his prize? Some kind of cursed demon egg? Suddenly, terrifying cracks spiderweb across the surface with a deafening crunch. And then, kaboom! The whole thing violently explodes, blasting a massive shockwave across the entire battlefield. The system chimes in perfectly on time, confirming he has successfully claimed his familiar. Out of the smoke, a demon appears. Clutching a glowing orb, it flashes the most villainous grin you have ever witnessed. The demon glares at Jan. Who the heck are you, mortal? How dare you summon me? But Jan is actually vibrating with excitement. He stares at this legendary dark aura, praying he just rolled a top-tier pet. Then he spots the system window, and his brain straight up crashes. The nameplate reads, Lord of Chaos, King of Demons Satan. Jan blinks in pure shock. Wait, the actual literal devil. Satan strikes a pose, smirking as he explains that the low summoning power forced him into a youthful form. But whatever, even with this handicapped body, crushing those pathetic angels will be an absolute joke. Then the mighty Satan looks down and realizes he is barely the size of Jan's calf. The Supreme Demon Lord completely loses his mind. He starts screeching furiously, demanding to know where he is. Why is he a toddler? Why is he so incredibly tiny? He violently shakes Jan for answers, but our guy is just sweating, completely clueless. I do not know either man, Satan shrieks. Did you summon me, you lowly peasant? Jan gives him a deadpan stare. Bro, you said I summoned you. I just opened a loot box. It said, medium reward, and out popped a pocket-sized devil. Guess you are my pet now. Satan looks absolutely devastated. His demonic pride shatters. This has to be a joke. I am not some bargain bin imp. I am Satan. How did I get dragged into a master-servant contract without clicking agree? I am way too VIP for this garbage. Jan just watches the tiny terror throw a massive tantrum and sighs. So, you are actually the big bad boss. Satan grumbles about being way too old for this disrespect. He casually floats up and decides that since the binding is permanent and he is officially stuck as a pet, they just have to deal with it, whether they want to or not. Then this absolute menace just drops right onto Jan's head, crosses his tiny legs, and sits there like he owns the place. Jan is screaming internally. Did the literal devil just make me his chair? But Satan suddenly senses something bizarre. He squints at Jan, asking if he is hiding some crazy cheat skill. Just then, a system window alerts Jan that he can spend plausibility points to unlock his pet's true stats. But a huge warning flashes. Beware, your pet is a major threat. Satan suddenly flashes a supervillain smirk. Oh, it all makes sense now. This is why I got summoned into this pathetic contract. He casually asks if he can borrow some of Jan's special juice. Jan blinks, completely lost. What power are you talking about, tiny guy? Satan points a finger, practically drooling. I mean that reality-bending nonsense inside you. The realization finally smacks Jan in the face. Wait, do you mean my plausibility points? Satan's creepy grin stretches from ear to ear. A weak human like you cannot even use it right. Just cough it up, and the great Satan will shower you with epic loot. Jan instantly daydreams about mountains of gold and god-tier weapons. He opens his status screen. 8,975 points in total. His gamer senses tingle. If the final boss wants this currency so badly, it must be insanely overpowered. He crosses his arms. What is your offer? Short stuff, Satan beams. He draws a glowing purple summoning circle, pulling out a glowing item. Give me everything, and this legendary level 150 robe is yours. Those stats are absolutely mental. Jan's jaw drops. Level 150, just to equip it. He heard that even in America, where servers open 2 months early, top rankers are barely level 50. He casually tells the Demon Lord thanks, but no thanks. Satan calmly stashes the god-tier loot away and raises an eyebrow. Then, what exactly do you want? Jan scratches his head until a ridiculously stupid idea strikes him. Wait, he asks, you can buff up monsters, right? The archdemon blinks in confusion, asking what kind of beasts he has in mind. Jan deadpan slimes. Satan just freezes, staring at him in utter disbelief. He actually asks him to repeat that nonsense. And then, the mighty Demon Lord totally loses it, bursting into hysterical laughter for a solid minute straight. You are completely insane, and I love it, he wheezes. No mortal has ever asked for something so pathetic. Jan just shrugs. So, can you do it? Or what? Satan jabs a thumb at his own chest with the cockiest smirk imaginable. I can do literally anything, he brags. But everything has a price. How much plausibility are you coughing up? Jan checks his 8,975 points, flashing a wicked grin. I will give you absolutely every last drop. Satan is absolutely buzzing. It is a deal. A sinister, pulsing purple magic circle erupts right beneath their feet. The Demon Lord declares, contract concluded. The exact microsecond those words echo out the sky turns pitch black. Terrifying purple lightning starts blasting the earth. The sheer demonic energy from this ridiculous deal is going completely nuclear. And then, the ultimate punchline arrives. A gigantic level 100 raid boss spawns into reality. The Queen of Slimes. Meanwhile, while Jan is busy playing God, we cut over to a squad of arrogant players, happily farming these newly buffed jelly drops. One knight chucks a fire spear, instantly roasting a magical slime. The mage girl twirls her super expensive staff and giggles about how incredibly easy this grind is. Her red-haired buddy is practically vibrating with hype. This glitch is an absolute goldmine, he cheers. The experience points are flowing like crazy. The mage girl just smirks. Listen, whether they are level 1 or level 20, a slime is still just a pathetic slime. They are tutorial mobs with 0 brain cells, completely harmless. The red-haired warrior nods in total agreement. Yeah, the noobs would get crushed here now, but for elite pros like us, this spot is absolutely perfect. The girl is beaming, bragging about this zero-risk, high-reward paradise. At this rate, if they just keep mindlessly farming, they will totally hit the master ranker tier. The guy gets stars in his eyes. Wait, you seriously think we can make it? She tosses her hair confidently. If this glitch keeps up, it is basically guaranteed, but then the universe decides to humble them. The entire ground violently caves in. Their smug smiles vanish as they start screaming their heads off. And right on cue, suffocating dark energy violently erupts from massive fissures in the dirt. Suddenly, an absolutely bone-chilling demonic voice echoes out, speaking in an ancient tongue. It weeps for the burning rage of the innocently slaughtered jellies. Pitch-black aura blasts out in geysers of pure malice, while the voice preaches about avenging their squished bouncy brethren. The 3 so-called elite players are glued to the floor watching a literal apocalypse unfold over low-level mobs. The demonic aura crashes into a massive herd of slimes, mutating their cute green bodies into a terrifying toxic shade of deep purple. The disembodied voice roars a battle cry for bloody vengeance. Suddenly, every single corrupted slime turns its squishy body, aggressively oozing straight toward the 3 paralyzed gamers. The tank is pathetically hiding behind his shield. Another guy is literally face-planted in the dirt, absolutely terrified of jelly. And the arrogant mage girl looks like her soul just left her body. The earth shakes violently with a deafening rumble, and she completely loses her mind, shrieking in pure terror. Red Hair is screaming back, demanding to know why the world is ending. Is this a massive earthquake or what? But then he looks forward, and every drop of blood drains from his face. Barreling down on them is a colossal apocalyptic tsunami, made entirely of angry purple slimes. He covers his head, squeezing his eyes shut like a giant baby, thinking, we are totally dead. He screams for his mommy at the top of his lungs, waiting for the squishy embrace of death. But, strangely, nothing happens. He slowly cracks a single eye open, blinking in total confusion. He realizes the furious slime stampede completely ignored them, flying right past their party in a frantic rush. He drops his arms, baffled. Wait, what are they doing? Where on earth are they all rushing off to? His friend shakily points a finger, telling them to look up. Now they see the horrible truth. The jellies are physically merging together. The warrior stammers are those all just slimes? Suddenly, massive system holograms burst into reality for every single gamer currently in the zone. The mage girl stares blankly at the glowing blue text, wondering what kind of ridiculous world event this could possibly be. The system logs read like the saddest, most overdramatic anime backstory ever written. Slimes only ever wanted peace. Once upon a time, they peacefully vibed in sunlit meadows, living their best jelly lives. But then, the evil, greedy humans attacked mercilessly, farming these defenseless blobs for easy experience points. The poor slimes endured the slaughter for generations until they finally snapped. They realized that true peace could only be earned through absolute war. Thousands of slimes sacrificed their gooey bodies for a single desperate goal, creating an invincible monarch to lead their species. And just like that, a majestic, terrifying level 100 slime queen solidifies into existence. She immediately arches back, vibrating with rage, and lets loose an ear-splitting, monstrous shriek. The sonic boom is so aggressively loud, it literally shatters the earth with visible shockwaves. The force is it is absolute chaos. They are ripping up trees like toothpicks and playing dodgeball. This crazy area attack deletes the entire forest. Splat. Dozens of players get instantly flattened by flying timber. The lucky survivors. Yeah, they are crying for their mommies. Some guy is bawling about Kellen dying. His leg got atomized by a rogue log. Rest in peace, bro. Our red-haired extra is sprinting for his life through the graveyard of Noobs. He looks totally bricked. Then he spots her. The colossal slime queen flexing in the ruined woods, his brain straight up blue screens from panic. Meanwhile, Yoon is chilling on a rock. He watches the apocalypse unfold, blinking in pure confusion. Oops. Did I accidentally do that? Satan is beaming like a proud dad, bragging he buffed the jellies exactly as ordered. Yun just stares. Dude, I said, give them a buff, not launch a literal doomsday. Suddenly, the jelly monarch screeches again, and man, the shockwave blasts them from miles away. Yun is clinging to the rock for dear life against the hurricane force. While Satan is practically dying of laughter, he claims if this angry blob worked out just a little bit more, she could literally get a job in the demon army. The psycho chuckles, claiming he only gave them some free therapy to unlock their inner rage. The results: a massive royal upgrade. Yun shoots his demonic minion the hardest death glare, asking what beef a bouncy slime could possibly have. Satan just smirks like a troll, asking what Yun expected. Players farm these low-level blobs for breakfast. Satan simply handed them a mirror so they could realize exactly who the real enemies are. The best part, it was fully funded by Yun's plausibility power. Yun's brain stops working. What Satan casually reveals that just a tiny drop of that juicy power was enough to mutate the whole squishy race. He summons a villainous fireball with a wicked grin. Now this god-tier battery belongs to me. Meanwhile, at the noob town, players are wetting their pants. One dude is shrieking that the jelly apocalypse is here. Hold the line or it is game over. Suddenly, glowing system windows spam everyone's vision. Main scenario updated. The rookie killer quest is cancelled. Welcome to the Wrath of Slimes. The objective: stop the squishy doom from flattening Newbie Town. Win conditions: protect the walls and assassinate the Jelly Queen. Time limit: 7 days. If they choke and the crystal shatters, their safe zone is permanently deleted. Players are absolutely melting down. Wait, is this actually the main plot? The tutorial town can get nuked. What happens to their respawn points? This is totally unfair. Then a monstrous jiggly roar shakes the sky. They slowly turn to see a mountain of slime rolling in, and uniformly realize, yeah, we are super dead. Back at ground zero, Satan asks for orders. Yun is parked on a cliff edge, acting clueless. Satan gets that crazy fanboy look, noting that all the players are currently fighting for their lives. If Yun just backdoors the city and unplugs the crystal, he gets an instant victory royale. Yun internally sighs, knowing this edgelord is totally trying to bait him. Hard pass. He lazily declares he is just going to eat popcorn and watch for now. Satan gasps in shock. Why stall? Wait. Does Yun still hold the reins? Oh, Satan totally gets it. Yun wants to let them almost win before crushing their dreams. He starts wheezing with laughter. Bro, that is so evil. Yun just sweats and ignores the psycho. Suddenly, a literal waterfall of system alerts spams his face. Ding, you killed a noob. Ding +1, plausibility point. Yun watches the free XP roll in and thinks, okay, maybe Satan cooked here. He really needs to pick a team. Humans or the Jello Brigade. A greedy smirk creeps onto his face. The real question is, which side pays better? Meanwhile, her royal jelly majesty arrives at the gates. She lets out a boss roar and a massive stat window drops. Her skill tree, royal roar, and mega jump. Oh, and she comes packed with swarm mind turbo healing and a raging grudge against humanity. Every single player can see these broken, totally illegal stats. Even the developer suits back at Arcadia headquarters are watching this dumpster fire. Ma Young-han is practically having a stroke at his desk, while some intern screams to pull the server plug immediately. Seriously, how does a level 100 raid boss drop in the tutorial zone? Wang Ji-ha, the lead game designer, is sweating bullets, swearing. She never coded this abomination. The Korean server team absolutely did not spawn this thing. Maybe the global dev team trolled them. Tae-hoon yells to report this glitch as soon as possible. Dropping a nuke on fresh installs is totally admin abuse, but Ma Young-han is locked in deep thought, putting the crazy puzzle pieces together. First, a rogue main scenario triggers. Then the PK quest. And now, the Wrath of Slimes. A galaxy brain theory hits him. He asks the panicking room, "Do you remember our core slogan? Unlimited choices, total gaming freedom. Did the big bosses trigger this? No way. Every single event was perfectly scripted until today. Let that sink in. My guy just dropped the absolute mother of all bombs. This entire bloodbath, the main scenario, the newbie massacre, all orchestrated by exactly one player, mutating the monster behavior, spawning this absolute unit of a boss. Just one single genius. The admin team is collectively losing their remaining brain cells. Is that level of trolling even mathematically possible? Well, look at the quest logs. The math is absolutely mathing. Pyun drops the hard truth. If one madman's choices caused this apocalypse, they legally cannot touch him. That is the ironclad rule of Arcadia. Absolute freedom over literally everything. The admin screen pulses with a blood-red warning. If this quest fails, the starter city is completely toast, deleted from existence. Meanwhile, the starter town looks like a literal war movie. Players are fighting off jelly monsters in every single alleyway. A warrior claps a monster, sweating bullets. If the max-level veterans had not shown up, this town would be a crater. Seriously, who ordered the infinite jelly buffet? A ninja slime tries to backstab him, but another player swoops in for the clutch parry. Absolute cinematic timing. He screams at the old non-player character to run. They completely book it through the streets. The battered old dude is wheezing for dear life. Suddenly, a blue name tag flashes. Guard of the Baron. The old man cries tears of joy, praising this random gamer as his literal savior. Our hero just throws up a casual thumbs up. All in a day's work, Grandpa. But the old man's eyes turn completely serious. He invites the player over once the apocalypse wraps up. Apparently, his grandpa's ancient diary holds legendary warrior secrets. Ding, hidden quest unlocked. Title acquired savior. Class change conditions magically met. Our boy's jaw is practically touching the floor. Bro literally tripped and fell into the rarest secret class on the server. The old man opens his mouth to drop more lore, but completely freezes. Looming behind them is an extremely ticked-off boss queen. Fast forward through 3 days of pure, unadulterated suffering. Half the raid timer is gone. Players are getting sent to the spawn screen on repeat. But listen, gamers do not have a retreat button on their keyboards. The server's heavy hitters dropped into the front line. The momentum dramatically shifted. Even the noobs organized into tactical hit squads. Big brain plays only. Suddenly, the absolute mad lads who farmed 1,000 kills unlocked an overpowered title, the Monster Destroyer. A massive 30% defense boost and 40% extra damage. Armed with this ridiculous buff, the humans are absolutely steamrolling. Hope is fully restored. They triumphantly jam their guild flag into a literal mountain of jelly corpses. Meanwhile, our main character is chilling on a rock. His quest window pops up. Current noob kill count, 32,576. Time left, 1 day and 22 hours. The Demon King himself is floating nearby, grinning like a proud dad. The Lord of Darkness has never seen such glorious toxic gameplay. He literally pats him on the head, hyping up his mass murder spree. Yoon just sits there. Getting praised by actual demons feels like a weird flex, but okay. He checks his invisible wallet. 22,576 plausibility points. Absolute stonks. Grinding this manually would have taken a whole geological era. The demon raises an eyebrow. So what is the master plan, boss? Because if he just watches, the humans are totally securing the bag. Yoon gazes down at the cheering players. At their cute little victory flag on top of the slime mountain. A delightfully toxic smirk stretches across his face. That sounds incredibly boring. He snaps open his inventory. He slaps on his crusty old blood-stained cloak and pulls up the hood. The demon's jaw drops at the sheer edginess of the fit. Bro, what is that? Yoon chuckles darkly, staring at the battlefield. Looks like it is time to choose a faction. His smile turns absolutely demonic. Plot twist. I am joining the monsters. Cut back to the real-world headquarters. An admin rushes into the boss's office, begging to pull the plug on this disaster. The camera pans to the nameplate. Chief Executive Officer Lai Mi. Bro, why does this gaming company have such insanely gorgeous executives? I am looking respectfully. Anyway, focus. We are back in the game for the final day. The starter village looks like a post-apocalyptic wasteland, but after 7 days of endless jelly-flavored trauma, the chaotic storm is finally settling down. The players are chilling, texting their moms, fully convinced they just bagged the most epic victory royale of their gaming careers. The raid clock, 10 minutes and 42 seconds remaining. One guy completely jinxes it, saying the monsters are finally retreating. His tank buddy is practically flexing his pecs. They bashed their heads against my shield for a week and got literally nowhere. He clenches his fist, looking like a total main character. Just hold out for 10 more minutes, boys. We are basically legends. Famous last words, buddy. Right as the premature celebration kicks off, the system decides to hit them with the final boss music. The sky instantly shifts to a terrifying demonic crimson. Horrifying bass-boosted screeches vibrate through the entire zone. Every single player gets paralyzed by pure dread. Global panic ensues. Why did the weather just switch to doomsday mode? The raid leader is sweating an absolute ocean. He screams at the vanguard to hold the line. Something unspeakably evil is approaching. And who is the final boss? Our boy Yoon. Literally surfing on the queen's head with his weapon drawn and the cockiest grin imaginable. He is about to deliver the most disrespectful villain monologue. But the copium-huffing shield tank is still yelling at everyone to calm down. Do not panic at the red sky. The timer is practically 0. The monsters cannot win. But then, a chilling voice echoes across the battlefield. A deafening boom makes everyone's souls leave their bodies. One old player stares out in absolute pure terror, muttering, "She is coming." The players turn around to find a literal mountain of a slime queen casually looming outside the city walls. Her core is glowing like a radioactive disco ball. The system suddenly drops this super dramatic lore about how weak slimes are totally sick of being newbie punching bags. They are officially going on strike. All that pent-up rage. It finally summoned their glorious queen. And oh boy, did she deliver. This absolute unit of a boss opens her giant mouth and roars. Players instantly freeze, dropping their swords in pure, unadulterated panic. Then the slime queen bends down, grips the wall, and the system delivers the ultimate jump scare. Boss monster slime queen has appeared. Raid ends in 9 minutes and 58 seconds. Everyone just stands there buffering because how do you even fight a natural disaster? The queen casually rips the wall off its hinges and reaches her massive hand inside. But wait, there is more. The moment she touches the ground, hundreds of mini slimes start flooding out like a bouncy tsunami. Players instantly nope out of there, screaming that this Godzilla-sized blob completely breaks the game rules. A tanker tries playing hero, screaming at the cowards to hold the line and stop running. He orders them to spam magic arrows or whatever pointy sticks they can find. He acts tough, yelling, "Why run? It is just a game." But then a deadly shadow falls over him. He slowly turns around. The queen's gigantic palm is dropping on him like a gelatinous meteor. The man freezes, staring at his imminent flattening, wondering if the developers are actually crazy. The queen violently slams her hand down. Sludge splatters everywhere. But right before our tanker turns into a pancake, a player saves him. A massive lightning beam shoots out and smacks the queen right in the face. A dude with long red hair stands tall, commanding everyone to listen. The newbies are completely starstruck and tune in. This red-haired veteran poses on a roof with 2 girls dropping the real strategy. Listen up. We only need to survive for 5 minutes. Forget about killing this boss. That is a suicide mission. Just kite her away from the main crystal in the square. If we defend that shiny rock, it is our win. The pride of the Korean server is on the line. The rookies exchange dramatic nods, hoist their weapons, and start screaming their lungs out with epic battle cries. Red hair keeps feeding their delusions of grandeur, yelling to ignore death and just push forward. 0 damage. Who cares? Just annoy her with endless range spam. The crowd is totally brainwashed now, waving their swords and roaring. Everyone feels the main character energy, thinking they might actually clutch this impossible raid. Fast forward to 10 seconds left. The slime queen unleashes a huge tidal wave of goo onto the crowded street. At 9 seconds, she completely ignores the pathetic mosquito bites hitting her. Her boss instincts kick in. Bam! She throws a catastrophic punch that absolutely obliterates the wall, yeeting dozens of players into the sky. Red Hair desperately tries to taunt her, charging an insane hellfire aura into his sword. He screams about melting this overgrown jelly and launches himself, but nope. He gets instantly rejected by a massive boss shield. The guy could not even land a scratch, but with only 3 seconds on the clock, he starts laughing like a maniac. He mocks the queen, yelling that it is over. He is literally trash-talking a boss with 1 second on the clock. Meanwhile, back to our stressed executive. Myung-han is screaming to pull the plug and end the slime apocalypse, but she coldly replies that it is impossible. They are not the gods of Arcadia, they are just the poor developers. Their job is fixing bugs, not deleting history. Back in the game, Red Hair sits by the glowing crystal in the safe zone, smugly laughing about their flawless victory. Wait. Cracked spiderwebs form on the crystal. He is visibly confused until he spots Yoon, who took advantage of the boss fight to casually backstab the protective crystal. The system ruthlessly announces the shield is shattered, leaving the city totally doomed. Yun just blinks innocently. Oops, my hand slipped. While the system drops the ultimate troll message, the beginner city has been permanently wiped off the map. The red-haired veteran turns around absolutely fuming. Yoon responds by casually one-shotting him into pixels. Our boy stands in the burning ruins only annoyed that he got 0 experience points for the kill, probably because Red Hair was not a newbie anyway. Meh, whatever, he is already drowning in points. Surviving players sprint to the square, completely freaking out over their destroyed safe zone, screaming about how the slimes bypassed them. Then they freeze instantly, recognizing who is. They froze, staring at Yan standing over the shattered crystal. The horrific truth hit them. No monster did this. A player just nuked their city. The mob erupted in absolute rage, cursing our boy and demanding to know what the heck was wrong with his brain. The furious crowd charged, screaming to catch this absolute psycho. They swore to hunt his username to the ends of the earth. Yan just smirked. Are you guys serious? The mob paused, totally confused. Then, ding. A crimson system window flashed. Act 1 failed. The city will be wiped from the map. Suddenly, the massive Slime Queen's core glowed like a radioactive disco ball. Boom. Her gigantic body detonated. A disgusting rain of goo splattered everywhere, leaving the players completely paralyzed. They stood dripping in shock. But wait. The puddles of slime started bubbling and rising back up. Panic set in. What is this nasty jello doing? The goo flew upward, merging together into something much worse. One guy whimpered, "Please tell me those aren't new slimes." Because even in hardcore raids, monsters do not just spawn like an underground fountain of doom. The slimes gathered, making the absolute creepiest squelching noises. Then, flash, an insane energy blast nuked the sky. Players shielded their eyes, only to look up and see gigantic slimes everywhere. The players lost their minds. The system then casually dropped a tragic backstory about slimes getting bullied by humans for centuries. But today, they fought back and won. The system announced the slimes now owned the human territory. Up top, the queen sat on her jello throne. Yan smirked, literally calling her mommy. Seriously, bro. Meanwhile, a massive magic circle swallowed the city. The entire town was officially slime property. Then, the ultimate system warning flashed for the surviving players. Welcome to a level 80 hunting ground. A player read it and screamed, Level 80. In the beginner zone, the slimes roared like actual dragons. Absolute terror. Surrounded by these jiggly titans of death, Yan just stood there, smiling like a movie villain, dropping edgy quotes. The players did not care about his speech. They ran for their actual lives. Giant slimes bounced after them as the whole town echoed with pure, hilarious terror. Cut to the real world. Mikan, the TVG channel reporter, smiled brightly for the daily gaming news broadcast. Arcadia, the legendary VR game, was booming. But today, the forums were literally melting down with salt. Thousands of furious complaints about the beginner city disaster. Meanwhile, our chaotic boy, sleeping like a baby. Her broadcast played softly as he stretched and yawned. Mikan explained how the massive defense quest failed. The noob city was now a high-level death trap. Even as a veteran gamer, she said, looking stressed, this event makes 0 sense. Yan wiped the sleep from his eyes. His phone screen was pure chaos. Comments were flying. Did the city just vanish? Are the devs literally trolling us right now? Do newbies just spawn in a slime stomach now? Half the players were crying. The other half were spreading rumors about the infamous rookie killer. One user posted a crazy theory. The crystal wasn't broken by monsters. A player broke it. If that is true, that guy is a legend. Yan casually brushed his teeth reading this. Oops, he thought. I made a tiny mess. Better lay low. Then he saw a super salty comment. Some poor guy lost his hidden class quest. The quest-giving NPC literally got deleted during the apocalypse. Yan just shrugged. Hey, he was playing by the rules. Don't hate the player, hate the game. He had an anarchist bard class and a demon lord pet. Plus, that weird guy at the start literally told him to create maximum chaos. Yan tried to be philosophical about it, then scratched his head. Wait, why do I care? Worst case, he gets hit with the banhammer. Whatever. Forget it. Time to focus on the present, not pixel drama. Later at college, Yan grabbed a seat. The school was super average, but he didn't mind. Ah, peaceful student life. Classes, studying boring lectures. But wait. The dude sitting next to him was completely glued to his phone. Yan peeked over. On the screen was his exact in-game character posing like an absolute boss. Surfing the Slime Queen's head, Yan panicked. When did someone record that? His jaw dropped. 2 million views. He blushed furiously. Why are people watching my chaotic gameplay? The uploader is definitely making bank off my face. The classmate noticed Yan invading his personal space. You want to watch? The guy asked. Yan jerked back, super embarrassed. Oh, sorry, just looked interesting. He tried to play it cool, but inside he was screaming. Of course he is interested. He is literally the main character. The guy flashes a bright smile. He sticks out his hand and introduces himself as Lim Jun. He actually claims destiny brought them together. Yoon is totally caught off guard, but he plays along and introduces himself. Then Jun immediately brings up the viral Arcadia videos. He asks if Yoon knows about the game. Jun starts aggressively nerd-dumping about the recent chaos. The beginner town literally got swarmed by slimes. They started out weak but suddenly mutated and totally nuked the entire map. Yoon immediately activates his best acting skills. He fakes absolute shock. He acts like this is brand new information. Internally, Yoon realizes this guy just wants a captive audience. He just wants to talk about games, but then Jun drops a massive bomb. He asks if Yoon has heard of the legendary rookie killer. The question hits Yoon like a truck. His heart drops into his stomach. Alarm bells are screaming in his head. Why bring that up? Did his cover just get blown? Meanwhile, we cut to the Korean Arcadia headquarters. Mien is furiously scrolling through her tablet. She stares at the smoking crater that used to be the beginner zone. The entire server is an absolute dumpster fire right now. And guess who has to clean up the mess? She takes a desperate sip of coffee. Sure, the developers expected some wild player behavior, but nobody predicted the game completely breaking like this. She stretches her arms desperately trying to keep her sanity intact. She desperately tries to look on the bright side. Hey, at least this absolute disaster is great free marketing, right? Still, the dev team needs answers right now. How did a single player trigger an apocalyptic event all by himself? She is dying to meet this absolute lunatic in person, while folks apparently catching the attention of a top-tier executive costs exactly one destroyed beginner town. Back at the university, Yoon is having a spectacular internal meltdown. He is sweating bullets, convinced his secret is out. Jun suddenly smacks his shoulder, snapping him back to reality. He asks why Yoon is spacing out. Does he seriously not know about this legendary gamer? Jun waves it off, playing the generous mentor. He claims Yoon is super lucky to meet a veteran expert like him. Yoon forces out an awkward, painful laugh. He agrees secretly, thinking this guy just wants to flex his gaming knowledge. Jun dramatically whips out his smartphone. He pulls up the exact viral video of the rookie killer. He shoves the screen in Yoon's face, hyping up the exclusive footage. He claims it is the missing piece to the slime invasion puzzle. Jun is grinning like an absolute idiot, bragging about his insider knowledge. He swears Yoon will not find this intel anywhere else. Yoon is practically dripping sweat now. He nervously asks how one person caused such chaos. Internally, he is screaming. This annoying guy is way sharper than he looks. He has to shut this investigation down immediately. If Jun keeps digging, his peaceful real life is totally doomed. There is zero chance he can confess to being the rookie killer. Suddenly, Jun goes dead silent, wondering if he is nerding out too hard. Right on cue, a professor strides into the lecture hall. He does that classic authoritative cough to silence the room. He looks around, satisfied that the fresh meat has arrived. He introduces himself as Professor Kim Tae-hoon, the big boss of computer engineering. He promises to keep the boring orientation speech short, but he has a massive announcement to drop. Whispers instantly erupt across the classroom. The students are completely confused. What is this guy about to say? Professor Kim stares them down. He states the obvious. Everyone knows virtual reality is taking over the world. It is the hottest topic on the planet. A massive technological revolution is happening right this second. And the catalyst is a game called Arcadia. Yoon instantly snaps to attention. Did the professor just mention his game? The professor paces the room with absolute confidence. He declares that traditional coding is officially obsolete inside Arcadia. The faculty had to face a harsh reality check. Their entire curriculum is outdated garbage. It completely fails to match the god-tier technology happening in the real world. It is useless for modern students. Yoon nods along like a wise old sage. The professor is literally spitting straight facts. Standard textbooks are basically dinosaur bones compared to virtual reality magic. This is the undeniable future. Then the professor drops a nuke. Starting this exact semester, the computer engineering major is officially evolving into virtual reality engineering. He knows the sudden class change is chaotic, but survival of the fittest applies to universities too. Adapt to the new era or get left behind. Flash forward to the loud cafeteria. Jun slams his food tray down, still losing his absolute mind over the announcement. Who renames an entire university department overnight? Yoon slumps into the seat across from him. He is having a serious existential crisis. Why on earth is he eating lunch with this weirdo? June is vibrating with pure fanboy energy. He cannot believe a professor praised Arcadia. He thinks it is the coolest thing in academic history. Yoon forces a polite smile, his anxiety spiking again. This guy is fatally obsessed. Then June hits him with the ultimate trap card. He asks why Yoon is not playing it. Yoon physically flinches, dropping his chopsticks. His food scatters across the tray, panic mode re-engaged. He stutters out a pathetic excuse. He claims he would love to play, but the gear is expensive. Plus, he pretends he is just a casual who hates gaming. Inside, his soul is leaving his body. He is desperately trying to protect his cover. He needs an emergency topic change right now. He deflects, asking if June plays. June bursts into obnoxious laughter, pointing proudly at his chest. Of course he does. His character is already insanely overleveled. Yoon totally plays along, gasping in fake awe while thinking, thank the heavens I dodged that bullet. June proudly offers to power level Yoon if he ever joins the game. Though he admits noobs have it rough lately with totally random spawn points. Yoon smiles and promises to call him first, secretly chuckling because June is actually a super solid bro, even if he is slightly weird. Fast forward to Arcadia, where Satan is fuming with arms crossed. He snaps at Yoon for dragging his feet, barking about how a mere mortal dares to delay him. Yoon just calls the demon lord Tan, casually explaining that surviving a 3-day raid without sleep meant he literally had to hibernate. Satan dramatically sighs, grumbling about fragile human bodies and why mortal contracts are a scam. But Yoon just smirks, knowing the great demon lord was just lonely without him. Suddenly, a wild scream shatters the forest's peace. They whip around only to see the slime queen charging at Yoon like a love-struck missile. She goes straight for a hug, totally catching him off guard. She is beaming with absolute joy, but wait, a massive tsunami of jelly is right behind her. The entire slime horde is hyped. They mercilessly tackle Yoon to the dirt, bouncing all over him in a squishy dog pile. The queen is literally squeezing the life out of him, while hundreds of jellies smother him. Yoon is violently gasping for air. Even Satan gets totally crushed by a rogue slime. The demon lord is shrieking at the disgusting sticky blob to get off him. Once the Jellymageddon finally settles down, the slimes form a neat little army. The queen bows deeply as a system prompt chimes in. The slime queen is expressing her ultimate gratitude. Her entire race will eternally honor his heroic protection. Yoon is practically blushing, awkwardly waving his hands and claiming it was really no big deal. But the system disagrees. His reputation instantly evolves from slime friend to slime savior. And for his epic reward, he receives the legendary Crown of Slimes. A literal jelly crown pops onto his head, leaving him totally speechless. Plus, his plausibility skyrockets by 2,413 points, quest officially cleared. Yoon is just staring blankly at the massive wall of text. The loot drop is absolutely ridiculous for a beginner. The system confirms he did not just save the slimes, he helped them thrive. His kindness is etched in jelly history forever, as their true messiah. This epic recognition scores him +10 to water agility, +5 to intelligence, and another 5 to physical defense. Yoon grins like a madman. He barely started playing, and he is already hoarding cheat-level titles, though he should probably keep these ridiculous buffs a secret. Suddenly, Satan groans with maximum annoyance, demanding to know if they can leave yet because all this shiny purple slime is giving him a migraine. A few jellies hug Yoon one last time, and he assures Tan they are finally moving out. The slime queen gives them the most adorable, tearful goodbye wave ever, surrounded by her bouncy subjects. Fast forward to the outskirts of the ruined beginner city. Yoon declares it is officially time for their next mission. Meanwhile, somewhere far away in a breathtaking mountain fortress, deafening roars echo violently through the peaks. Deep inside a pitch-black void, a mysterious angel floats, radiating an aggressively blinding divine energy. Anyway, back to reality. The beginner city is total toast after that slime apocalypse. But gamers are literal cockroaches. They adapt fast. Almost instantly, some massive nerd posted a perfect survival guide on the forums. Apparently just 10 kilometers away from the cratered ruins of the old town. There is a safe haven called the Barony of Mail. The mobs are super weak, and the local merchants actually peddle decent beginner loot. The comment section is flooded with hipsters claiming they loved that spot before it was cool. Makes sense. It is the absolute closest safe zone, so the entire noob population just migrated there. Everyone is hyping it up, spamming chat, looking for party members. The rumors spread like absolute wildfire across the game, and soon millions of low-level scrubs come swarming in. A little while later, Yoon casually strolls up with the massive crowd. Suddenly, a beefy city guard points a spear right at him, demanding his identity. Yoon panics, shoving Satan deep inside his hood, and quickly lies, saying his name is Dex. The guard squints suspiciously, asking if he fled from the ruined hub. Yoon nods innocently. The guard furiously scratches his head, begging to know what the heck happened over there. All the rumors mention psychotic jelly beans destroying everything. Yoon sweats, realizing even the game characters gossip. He makes a mental note to lie better next time. Playing it cool, he explains the monsters that wiped out Edelin City were no basic slimes. It is a massive cursed spawn zone now, and anyone under level 85 would be instantly deleted. The poor guard's jaw practically drops to the floor in pure shock. He awkwardly clears his throat. Well, that completely explains the massive tsunami of homeless newbies. Seeing Yoon as just another tragic refugee, he quickly stamps his entry permit. Yan nods his thanks. Meanwhile, Satan peeks out from beneath his hood. Yan leans in, whispering, "Why is he acting so incredibly sus?" Satan scowls. "This place feels way too familiar," he mutters. Yan blinks, but Satan just shrugs it off. "Whatever, not important. Probably just another random realm." Then, his eyes narrow. He glares at Yan, utterly annoyed. "Why do you keep using that stupid nickname? I am Satan. It sounds epic." Yan sighs. "I call you Tan because your real name is a literal legend. Do you want to pull infinite aggro from eavesdroppers?" Satan's grumpy face instantly brightens. He bursts into laughter. "Well, if I am that famous, fine." Ego-stroked, he finally chills out. He asks what his master plans to do next. Yan looks confused. Satan smirks, clarifying he means plausibility. Obviously, Yan is loaded now, much richer than before. A glowing system window pops up. 33,551 plausibility points. Satan shakes his head. He never expected Yan to hoard this massive stash. Mathematically, he basically slaughtered 40,000 people for this. So how will he spend this mountain of currency? "Just hand them to me," Satan offers. Yan instantly shuts him down. "Hell no, pass." Satan throws a total tantrum. "Without my help, you cannot even use them right. Just give me the points willingly. I will reward you like a king. I will grant any wish. We can conquer this entire continent using my legendary crafted items. Sell just one, and you are filthy rich forever." Yan just yawns. "I will definitely call you if I need a sugar daddy. Just chill." Satan pouts. He is incredibly salty that his epic bribe totally failed. He mutters that Yan is way too stubborn. Secretly, Yan admits the demon did catch his interest. A level 150, unique item, utterly insane. But relying entirely on Satan is a rookie mistake. Plus, these plausibility points could be hidden overpowered cheat codes. He needs to hoard them until he cracks the system's true mechanics. More importantly, having everything spoon-fed to him would be incredibly boring. Later in the bustling city, Yan strolls through a noisy market. Vendors are aggressively screaming, "Buy my trash." "Everything is dirt cheap," Satan groans, asking about their destination. Yan replies, "They must gather intel, scan the market trends, and snag a juicy quest." Suddenly something catches his radar. A jam-packed tavern. At a corner table, a gloomy NPC complains. The local lord went totally crazy. He ordered a massive spike in ore production. The poor guy has no clue how to dig faster. They already grind 24/7 in the mines. His buddy looks equally panicked. "If we fail, the miners will definitely be executed." Yan's ears instantly perk up. A wicked grin spreads across his face. "Ah, I smell a massive profit." Satan stares at him like he is a total psychopath. What absolute madness is this lunatic plotting now? Yan marches straight to the panicked miners. He confidently waves them down. They blink, and Yan flashes his best hero smile. "Do not worry, I can solve your little problem." The NPCs light up with pure hope. "Are you serious? You are our savior." Ding. A system prompt triggers. Quest received. Extract iron ore to meet the new quota. Satan scoffs at the screen. What a pathetic garbage tier quest. Any low-level noob could dig rocks. Yan chuckles darkly. "You lack vision, Tan. Look closer." They scan the busy street. Players are screaming iron ore for 20 bronze. "Buy my handmade swords. I just hit C rank in blacksmithing." Satan scratches his head. "I do not get it. It is just a basic market." Yan's smirk widens. "To a casual, maybe. But here is the cheat code. These are not NPCs. They are real players. Weapon demand is completely skyrocketing. Thousands of newbies need gear. But guess what? Arrogant players hate boring mining quests. Demand for metal went to the moon, but supply crashed hard. Satan blinks with zero economic comprehension. Math is hard. Yan just laughs, patting his shoulder. "Just trust my genius. You will love the payoff." His eyes gleam with pure greed. "First step, we are going to make absolute bank." Meanwhile, at the fancy Baroness estate, the local ruler stares at her financial scrolls in sheer horror. Last month, iron ore was 10 bronze a chunk. Today, 15 bronze. Inflation is hitting like a runaway truck. The blacksmiths are completely out of raw materials. If this economic disaster continues, quality will plummet while prices explode. She is in absolute panic mode. Fast forward, Mount Fian Highlands mine entrance number 1. Yan stops in the dark abyss. Deep enough. 0 players around. He hands over a pickaxe. Time to grind, buddy. I am counting on you, Tan. Satan stares at the pickaxe in pure disbelief. Wait, you want me to waste? His precious plausibility points on absolute garbage. Yan just smirks. Quit whining and do your job. So the guy caves doing his magic. Boom. He summons a weapon costing 8,000 freaking plausibility points. Instantly, a glowing system window flashes, revealing the weapon's crazy stats. Behold the Den Destroyer, a massive drill forged from the literal claw of a demon dimension mole, and Jan specifically needed this bad boy for its insane passive skills. It turbocharges production, massively boosts resource extraction speed, practically deletes extraction failure rates, and spikes the drop chance for ultra-rare materials. Jan stares at the stats with a massive greedy grin. Oh, this is beautiful, he laughs. Time to print some cold hard cash. Meanwhile, back in the bustling barony of Michael, the local market is total chaos. Merchants are screaming their lungs out, hustling for sales. One player is desperately shouting, begging to buy 20 pieces of iron ore just to finish a miserable mining quest. Suddenly, some green-haired dude strolls up, flashing a friendly smile, asking if she's wasting time on those endless repeatable quests. She gives him a weird look. Yeah. Is that a crime or something, not? The guy just chuckles, shaking his head. He straight up tells her to drop it immediately. You're burning your time, he warns. The reward is just a pathetic speck of minor reputation, totally useless. The poor girl's eyes bulge out of her head. Wait, seriously. She thought she was getting some epic loot. The guy just waves her off, turning away. Nope, he laughs. You're way better off mining the ore yourself and flipping it to a greedy merchant. The girl bows dramatically, thanking her green-haired savior. Quest abandoned, she declares. But watching this whole tragedy unfold nearby are 2 master blacksmiths, Aiden and Kashim. And oh boy, they look completely furious. Aiden glares at the clueless players. These damn adventurers, he growls. Hoarding all our precious ore just to craft absolute garbage. Kashim nods, his blood boiling. Exactly, these total noobs strut around pretending to be master artisans. They both let out a massive sigh, wondering where the hell their beautiful world is going. Shaking his head, Aiden prays. The Baroness steps in soon. If she doesn't act fast, this entire barony is doomed. You see, the economy in Arcadia is brutally realistic. It's driven by production, brutal consumption, ruthless supply and demand, plus imports and exports. Every single region specializes in specific raw materials, and depending on the in-game season, market demands fluctuate like crazy. But right now, the undisputed king of demand is iron ore. And of course, the devs added realism in the most toxic way imaginable. A brand new pickaxe literally shatters into pieces after just 10 pathetic swings. Players are losing their minds. Why is iron literally impossible to farm? A girl nearby groans in pure frustration. Yeah, the iron drought is insane right now, probably because half the server decided to become blacksmiths. The guy lets out a soul-crushing sigh. Man, I completely regret picking this stupid profession. There are literally 0 materials to even level up with. Thanks to this massive server-wide shortage, iron ore prices exploded from 10 measly bronze coins, straight up to 17. That's a massive 70% inflation rate. Because of this economic nightmare, blacksmiths are bleeding money left and right. Nobody wants to buy their grossly overpriced weapons. The girl shrugs, saying she understands the devs wanted a hardcore, realistic economy, but isn't this just pure torture? The guy groans, claiming if he had known, he would have just picked a brainless warrior class. Suddenly, a voice calls out, and they both snap their heads around. A dude in glasses tilts his head. Why don't you guys just mine the iron yourselves? The girl scoffs, rolling her eyes, while the guy glares at him like he's an idiot. Have you ever actually tried that, genius? Just walking from the safe zone to the damn mine takes 2 agonizing hours. Plus, the actual mining is pure suffering. You can't just whack a rock and get iron, because your trash pickaxe shatters instantly. Both players sigh in perfect, depressed unison. Honestly, it's a million times easier to just wait for some other sucker to mine it. While we grind our levels by repairing broken gear, Glasses guy blinks, scratching the back of his head. Okay, I get it now. Their miserable logic actually makes perfect sense. Hitting the mines is an absolute waste of time. Well, for everyone except one glorious madman. Cut to our boy Jan, and he is absolutely shredding the mine to pieces. Ding ding ding. System windows are exploding across his vision. Iron ore acquired. Critical success. Several pieces of silver ore acquired. Mining skill has leveled up. Extraction speed permanently increased. He even unlocked a passive trait for a chance to loot ultra-rare materials. Hidden veins are now visible. Max stamina increased by 10 points. Jan finally wipes the sweat from his brow, taking a breather as he admires the endless cascade of system alerts. Yeah, that's probably enough dominating for one day, he chuckles. His spatial inventory is literally bursting at the seams. Staring at his massive mountain of loot, he realizes spending all those crazy plausibility points was the greatest investment of his life. Suddenly, Satan comes zooming through the air. Hey, I've been looking everywhere for you. Jan raises an eyebrow, wondering where this little demon has been hiding. But Satan is practically vibrating with excitement. Listen, I just had a genius idea. Are you absolutely sure you don't want an even crazier drill? Jan just stares at him, sighing. Oh boy, here we go again. Satan summons a flashy magic circle. He smirks, claiming he finally found exactly what our main character needs. He dramatically pulls out a creepy eyeball necklace, showing it off. He is ready to trade this bad boy for whatever plausibility points he has left. The system suddenly flashes the crazy stats. Jan just wipes his sweaty face, sighing that he already told him he does not need handouts. Plus, that junk requires level 200, 20%. Why on earth would he want an item he cannot even equip for another 3 years? More importantly, it is ridiculously overpowered. If he uses a cheat code like that, the whole game loses its thrill. Satan immediately pouts, awkwardly trying to defend himself. But Jan shuts him down, pointing out that if he threw that on the auction house, his secret identity would be instantly busted. Sure, it would work if he just wanted to cash out and delete his account, but he has zero plans to. Quit right now. Did that finally get through his thick skull? Critical hit. Satan makes a hilariously wounded face, grumbling that he gets it, and to please stop scolding him. Jan swiftly changes the subject. Where exactly did Satan run off to earlier? He was gone forever. Satan casually shrugs, claiming there is nothing fun to talk about. But Jan pushes, totally suspicious. Suddenly, Satan's eyes flash a sinister red. He smirks, asking if he really wants to uncover the truth. He starts laughing like an absolute maniac before suddenly stopping. Actually, never mind. He will spill the beans whenever he feels like it. He then peeks into Jan's bag, totally shocked. The dude mined so much ore he probably has a bigger stash than the entire city of Michael combined. Jan gives a wicked grin, asking if he really thinks so. Maybe he should grind for a few more days before dropping the motherlode. He maliciously calculates how he will farm massive friendship points with the local miners by spamming the delivery quest. Satan stares at this greedy gamer, asking what his endgame is. Jan smirks, predicting the Baroness herself will come begging. Meanwhile, over at the fancy Baron estate, a chaotic emergency meeting is happening. The Baroness is buried under a depressing mountain of paperwork. Every single report screams the same thing: they are completely out of iron ore. With these trash supplies, they cannot fulfill any merchant contracts. It is a total disaster. They might actually go bankrupt, close the workshop, and flee to a city with better loot drops. Baroness Mikhail is reading this with the most soul-crushing expression ever. She glares at her useless advisors, desperately asking what is causing this apocalyptic shortage. One boomer advisor sighs, blaming the massive wave of noob adventurers who all blindly chose the blacksmith class. Another dude nods violently. Exactly. These players are absolute beginners, swinging hammers like toddlers. They are turning precious metal into literal garbage. They all dream of becoming legendary smiths one day, but right now they are just wasting all the server's ore. But the real nightmare. The number of actual miners has not changed at all. Everyone wants to craft, but nobody wants to hit rocks. Adventurers absolutely despise manual labor and just want fast glory. Mikhail rubs her temples, realizing these lazy players are the root of the crisis. Can they just force them into the mines? A blonde advisor sweats, saying that is highly illegal under paragraph 1 of Article 128 of the Continental Code. Mikhail snaps back, ordering them to gatekeep the ore and only sell to high-level smiths. The advisor panic reads paragraph 2 of Article 128. Realizing that is also banned, she racks her brain for a loophole but finds absolutely nothing. She aggressively grabs her hair in pure frustration. Where did this endless swarm of greedy players even spawn from? And how do they survive this economic crash? Suddenly, a guard kicks the door open, screaming that she urgently needs to see this. Outside, a massive mob of NPCs is staring at an absolute god-tier mountain of ore dumped right on the street. People are going feral, screaming to buy this high-quality loot. And wait, that is not just iron. There is gold mixed in. Holy cow, is that a rare magic crystal? Who dropped all this? Mikhail stares at the jackpot in utter disbelief, wondering what kind of miracle just happened. Meanwhile, our boy Jan is chilling in a shady alley, hugging a fat sack of cash. He is happily counting his loot. 3 days of hardcore grinding netted him 5 gold and 12 silver. Translated to real cash, that is roughly 500,000 won or 170,000 won a day. At this crazy rate, he will rake in 5 million won a month. That is more than enough to pay for his gaming capsule rent and college fees. But his gamer senses are tingling. He could definitely exploit this for even more profit. Suddenly a voice interrupts, asking if he is the absolute madman who dumped all that ore. Jan jumps, looking up to see Baroness Mikkel herself standing right there. Ping. The system alerts him of a massive favorability boost. Jan flashes a smug grin. Hook, line, and sinker. He looks up with maximum swagger, confidently stating that yep, he is the mining god. Mikhail introduced herself as the boss of this territory. She offers tea and a cozy chat. The system pings. Will he accept the Baroness's exclusive castle invitation? Obviously our boy says yes. Fast forward, and they are totally vibing inside the grand estate. They are sitting face to face. A fancy cup sits before Yun and Mikhail smirks. Hey, give this a taste. It is premium herbal tea from Mount Fian. He takes one sip, and his eyes light up. Wow, this is seriously delicious. She sits back, absolutely beaming with pride. Obviously, it is our territory's pride and joy. But suddenly, her cheerful aura vanishes. Her face turns dead serious. She leans in. How long did it take to gather that mountain of ore in the plaza? Yun casually shrugs. Just took me about 3 days. Mikhail's jaw drops to the floor. She practically flips the table, screaming, Wait, 3 days? How in the world is that even remotely possible? Coughing awkwardly, she regains her noble composure. She sits down, asking if other players can mine that crazily fast. Yun shakes his head. Yeah, I highly doubt it. She sighs, nodding. She figured as much. Even with a massive army of workers, results take time. Staring into her cup, she looks completely defeated. She understands the harsh reality, but it is just not enough. She desperately needs his help. Yun's ears instantly perk up. He leans forward, totally ready to catch this juicy quest lore. Mikhail explains that, as he surely noticed, the local economy is basically exploding right now thanks to the massive player flood. Right on cue, a glorious system window flashes. A shiny new special quest has just appeared. The Baroness is panicking. The territory is starving for iron ore and production must skyrocket. Yun smirks like a supervillain. Finally, the big bucks are calling. He asks if she needs him to bait players into working the deep mines. Mikhail nods desperately. Exactly. Yun's grin widens. Consider it done. Leave it to me. Later that night, Yun is plotting at his computer. He furiously types away. Honestly, completing this royal request will not be a walk in the park. After all, Arcadia is a fantasy wonderland. Gamers log in to slay dragons, not to swing pickaxes all day. Convincing them to do hard labor is tricky business. But our scheming genius has a master plan. He just needs to brainwash them a little bit. So he launches a streaming channel and drops a spicy mining tutorial. Meanwhile, at Mapo Middle School, a goofy kid excitedly asks his depressed buddy if they are logging into Arcadia tonight. Hyung-tak groans, saying he is actually thinking about quitting the game entirely. So hard pass. His friend is totally baffled. Why quit such an epic game? Hyung-tak slams his head onto the desk. He looks absolutely soul-crushed. He complains the game is pure torture. On day 1, some absolute maniac spawn camped him. And the next day, even the pathetic slimes turned into hulking monsters. His buddy laughs. Oh right, you were trapped in Edelin, right? Hyung-tak explodes with rage. Yeah. And then that whole starter city completely wiped off the map. I died 1,000,000 times just trying to escape that hellhole. His friend chuckles. Your luck is trash, but hey, you made it to Mikhail's territory. You even unlocked the merchant class. That is a massive win, right? Hyung-tak glares at him. That is exactly the curse. I had 0 options, so I picked merchant. Now my skill tree is stuffed with garbage abilities. I have 0 combat power. I cannot even farm low-level mobs without dying. My entire build is just permanently ruined. His friend stares at this dramatic loser. He asks, are you throwing a tantrum just because you think combat is the only fun thing to do? He shoves his smartphone into his face. Bro, you need to see this right now. He taps a thumbnail titled, The Ultimate Gold Farming Guide for Arcadia, uploaded by Yun just 11 hours ago. It already has 540,000 views. It is literally trending at number 4 in gaming. He hits play. Yun's smooth voice greets the viewers. Testing. Can you guys hear me? I am broadcasting live from Mount Fian. You have probably heard the rumors, since this farming spot is completely breaking the internet lately. Today's topic, iron ore mining. Hyung-tak sneers. Wait, seriously? Did he just say mining? That is literal peasant labor, Yun smirks through the screen. Thought this was boring grunt work, right? Boom. He casually dumps an absolute mountain of gold coins from his inventory. This is my pocket change for just 1 week. Hyung-tak's eyeballs practically shatter his glasses. He screams in pure shock. Holy mother of gold. How is he so filthy rich? His buddy laughs like a proud manager. Insane, right? Just keep your eyes glued to the screen. Yoon explains the system. At level 1, your extraction skill is absolute garbage. You will barely scrape up 20 chunks of ore per hour. Selling that nets you a pathetic 400 bronze coins. Total pocket lint, right. Boring. But here is the secret sauce. You have to grind that skill rank up first. Leveling it up triggers a massive snowball effect. Faster mining, perfect success rates, and crazy high loot drops for ultra-rare items. Right now my rank is so high, I am digging up magic crystals and pure diamonds daily. Hyung-tak trembles, completely starstruck, farming magic crystals from rocks. That is completely game-breaking. Wait, so swinging a pickaxe is useless until you hit those high ranks. Yoon winks at the camera. Now, let me show you the real way to swing a pickaxe. I will skip the boring. Let us skip the boring filler and jump straight to the juicy parts. Boom, time skip. Our boy is standing before a grinning merchant casually flexing that he sold his entire daily ore haul. Later, he promises a masterclass on haggling and farming those sweet, sweet friendship points. Today's grand total, 1 gold and 82 silver coins. Hyung-tae is absolutely mind-blown, praising his sudden passion for the grueling mines. But obviously, like the glorious scammer he is, Yoon faked basically everything in that video. Let us just call it a Lloyd-approved hustle. He conveniently left out a tiny, insignificant detail, like how that god-tier mining speed required an absolute cheat item. He filtered out all the reality checks, making it look like any random noob could strike it rich. And boy, did it bait the clueless masses. This clip hit the Arcadia player base like a massive earthquake. Thirsty crowds swarmed Aiden, begging for pickaxes and directions to Mount Fen. In record time, an absolute army of pickaxe-wielding players charged into the caves. A random bystander stares in shock, wondering why a massive horde of miners just spawned out of nowhere. Meanwhile, the Baroness is dying of laughter, wheezing that this is absolutely unbelievable. She cannot fathom how these lazy bums are willingly marching into the dirt, and it is not just blacksmiths, but combat-class adventurers too. She stares at our boy, asking what kind of dark magic he used. Yoon just smirks like a supervillain. Nothing special. I just manipulated basic human greed. Mikhail tilts her head, asking what on earth he means. Yoon spreads his hands with a devilish grin. Cold, hard cash. People will sell their souls for shiny coins. These so-called heroes are just absolute slaves to capitalism. Mikhail listens intently, though her clueless expression screams error 404. She just giggles, admitting she has zero idea how he did it, but the results speak for themselves. Yoon interrupts, warning that the game is not over yet. His eyes turn cold as he drops the hammer. First step. Slash the miners' base pay. Put them on a strict commission system based on their haul. The pure desperation will skyrocket their motivation, and the lazy parasites will weed themselves out instantly. Mikhail's eyes sparkle as she gasps. That is absolute genius. Yoon hides a cynical chuckle, realizing he literally just explained Capitalism 101, and her mind is utterly blown. This poor Baroness does not know jack about basic economics. Looks like it is up to him to drag her into the glorious, ruthless reality of business. Seriously, our boy is completely corrupting this innocent noble. She nervously asks how to handle the skyrocketing ore market. Since she never set trade caps, the inflation has broken through the atmosphere and is still soaring. According to the latest market reports, a single chunk of iron just hit 20 bronze coins. Yoon just waves it off. Let it ride. She panics, demanding why they should not intervene. Yoon smirks. Desperate crafters will pay whatever extortionate price we set. After all, the cost of blacksmith services did not spike even with our material inflation, right? Honestly, the ore was practically free before. But just in case the players riot, he leaves a pregnant pause. Mikhail bites her lip, asking if the mob is already crying on the forums. Yoon flashes a villainous smile. If they complain about the price, tell them to go mine it themselves. Effort is free, right? Mikhail processes this sheer, unadulterated toxicity for a solid 3 seconds. Then she absolutely loses it, slapping his shoulder in hysterics. She straight up offers him the position of lead finance minister, promising to shower him in gold for his beautifully twisted brain. Yoon chuckles smoothly. A tempting VIP package, but my grand adventure is far from over. The Baroness awkwardly coughs into her fist. Ah, right. You are technically a hero. My bad. Yoon stares her down, calculating his absolute monopoly. He practically saved her entire economy, so her gratitude meter should be maxed out. The golden moment has arrived. Mikhail leans in, swearing to grant him any favor within her noble power. Without missing a beat, Yoon slams a massive parchment onto the table. The endgame begins now. She curiously snatches up the heavy scroll, asking what this mysterious item is. Yoon adjusts his collar. My ultimate business proposal. She blinks. What kind of proposal? As she unfurls the parchment, he guarantees it will blow her mind. A lone wolf can only hoard so much gold. But to completely shatter the system limits, what does that require? It is simple. You must monopolize the masses and secure your throne at the absolute peak of the capitalist food chain. Mikhail's jaw drops as she reads the tyrannical clauses, almost protesting before swallowing her words. Yoon smiles like a true demon king. Fascinating, is it not? Give me a permanent 10% royalty cut and the entire business empire is yours. Boom. Our boy just ascended to the ultimate scamlord class, but hold that thought. Let us suddenly flash back several millennia to the ancient Holy War, back when angels and demons were literally trying to delete each other's existence. We cut to an absolute menace of a demon soaring through the chaos with a wicked blade. Standing against him, a divine angel gripping an earth-shattering great spear. They violently clash in midair, landing devastating blows at the exact same millisecond. Their blinding speeds spark a shockwave that completely illuminates the dark heavens. After trading an explosive flurry of god-tier attacks, both warriors hover dripping with blood. The demon lord glares furiously at his rival, spitting venom as he demands to know if that spear was named Muspelheim. Talk about overkill. Was the little bird that terrified of him? Archangel Michael declared his free trial on life was expiring today. Beaten and bleeding, Satan watched in absolute horror. Gasp. He jolted awake in the present. Drooling on Yoon's shoulder, the demon lord wondered what triggered that nightmare. Proximity to that accursed place, probably. Meanwhile, at the plaza, desperate players were bulk buying pickaxes like mad. Satan nudged Yoon. What exactly was in that scroll he handed the Baroness? Yoon flashed a villainous grin. Entering is free, he chuckled darkly, but leaving will cost their souls. Mining was pure torture. 10 miserable ores per hour if the number generator god smiled. Rare drops were strictly thanks to his overpowered pickaxe. Manual labor is a scam, Satan nodded. Yoon smirked. But does that mean we can't squeeze these suckers dry? I have a brilliant scheme. Satan stood there utterly baffled. Yoon's scammer senses tingled. We sell admission tickets. Make them pay to suffer. Satan asked how much this extortion fee was. Yoon calculated the hype factor. 1 shiny gold coin. Satan's jaw hit the floor. 1 gold? Humans are dumb, but not totally brain dead. Nobody is paying that, Yoon cackled. After his viral video drops, they will stampede to the mines, throwing their wallets at us delusional enough to think they'll strike it rich. It is literally infinite free money. Satan stared in sheer, unadulterated awe. A wicked grin spread across his face. Yoon was the real demon here. Zero morals. He proudly declared to Yoon, "You are my perfect evil master." Yoon just blinked. Satan bowed playfully. "Follow me. There is a special dungeon you must see." Later, they arrived before colossal ancient stone gates. Satan cackled. He had hunted for days and finally hit the jackpot. While Yoon was playing minor, the demon remembered his old stomping grounds. Satan gloated at the imposing doors. "Take that, winged losers." Yoon approached cautiously. The entrance looked dead, yet the iron gleamed and wood was pristine. Classic magical preservation. "Give it a push," Satan urged. "You are built different." Yoon touched the door. Flash. Blinding energy erupted, and a nasty red error blocked him. Epic seal detected. He lacked the premium credentials. But wait, a quest update chimed. Snitch to the Baroness for a shiny reward. Being the practical gamer he was, our boy shrugged at his pet. Doors locked, bro, magic seal. Satan absolutely lost his mind. No kidding, Sherlock. That is why you are here. Stop acting like a level 1 noob. Yoon rolled his eyes. I don't have seal-breaking hacks. Satan facepalmed so hard it echoed. Do you seriously not understand your own cheat codes? He turned away, muttering, why did the system bless this complete amateur? Yoon's sweat dropped. His demonic pet wasn't even pretending to respect him anymore. Satan spun around, glaring. Just how ignorant are you about your absurd potential? Plausibility stats. Bingo. Satan snapped his fingers, summoning a wicked violet flame. This stuff makes divine magic look like cheap parlor tricks. It shatters reality, breaks system balance, and bends the very laws of physics. It is literal creator privilege. With a flick, he materialized a solid crystal in Yoon's palm. Get it now, the demon lord asked proudly. Yoon stared at the rock. Blinked twice. Nope. Lost me at divine magic. Satan basically threw a tantrum. It means you have literal admin commands. Do whatever you want. 10 exhausting minutes later, Yun finally asked if spooky ghosts needed plausibility to touch things. Exactly, Satan grumbled. Usually we scrape by on pennies, but your cheat-level stat growth is farming it like crazy. Just signing a contract with you gave me a 500-year plausibility payout. Ah. So the demon was acting like a greedy leech. Satan flashed a devious grin. Those annoying angels lock this place down tight. No filthy casuals allowed. Yun rubbed his chin. If the anti-cheat was this heavy, the loot inside must be god tier. Who cares about their firewall? Satan laughed. With your admin privileges? That seal is wet paper. You are overthinking it, boss. His demonic smile widened. Stop trying to pick the lock. Just kick it down. Flex that main character energy. Yun focused. Ding. The epic seal was actually terrified of his aura. Override detected. Spend 15,000 plausibility points to smash seal. Yun winced. 15 grand. That was enough for 2 ultra-rare items. His gamer wallet wept. Still, hoarding points forever was for cowards. Time to gamble. Open sesame, stupid door. He smirked. 15,000 points vanished. The epic seal shattered. He found an unknown divine altar. Satan watched the opening. Our boy smirks at the gate. Welcome to the Holy Freak's lair. As he steps inside, the system dings, announcing he just unlocked the legendary stairway to heaven. Eons ago, when angels and demons clashed, the continent of Arcadia became their personal slaughterhouse. The battlefields were practically drowned in crimson. If the World Tree hadn't shielded them, humanity would be extinct. 1,000 years later, that absolute nightmare still terrifies everyone. Mortals still pray every single night that history won't repeat itself. Suddenly, warning alarms blare. Yun has trespassed into a divine zone. Critical error. A mystic rank quest trigger has been corrupted. The glowing system interface flashes blood red and glitches violently. Meanwhile, back in the real world at Arcadia's Korean headquarters, a massive error code hijacks the main monitor. Tahan pushes up his glasses. Emergency meeting right now. He knows his team is running on fumes and caffeine, but this catastrophe takes priority. The developers look like actual zombies. The room's aura is incredibly depressing. Jai groans. Now what? I just wanted to go home and shower for once. Another dev cries. It's only been days since the Newbie City disaster. Give us a break, Tahan sighs. Exactly 32 minutes ago, a mystic quest was illegally triggered. After scanning the game logs, he tracked the anomaly to a hidden zone inside Mount Fian. Check page 3. The undead developers frantically swipe through their tablets. Menchung's jaw drops. Wait, Mount Fian is an angelic domain. Since when? Tahan shakes his head. None of us knew until today. Here is the hidden lore. Ages ago, Mount Fian was actually the stairway to heaven. It was the angels' original landing zone, and those magical ores were simply a defensive barrier. Basically, that mountain hides the gateway to the celestial realm. Mayan Han squints at the screen. This damn game is too complex. Are we dealing with unscripted AI events again? Whatever. What is the quest title? Tahan hesitates, sweat forming on his brow. Given the system glitch, this might not be accurate, but Mian Han slams the desk. Spit it out. What kind of apocalypse are we facing? Tahan looks dead inside. It is. The Second Great War of Angels and Demons. Mayan Han freezes. Excuse me, the what? Cut back to the game. Yun strolls through the holy barrier, looking around in absolute awe. So this is the legendary stairway. Meanwhile, Satan is cackling like an absolute psycho. Take that, you feathered freaks. I told you I would return. He zooms ahead in a ridiculously good mood, shouting that it's time to wreck the angels' lives. Let's ruin everything they built. Yun, completely unbothered, just nods. Yeah, sure. They approach a grand altar holding a mysterious object. Yun raises an eyebrow. Is this the hidden treasure? Satan grins wickedly. Bingo, pop that bad boy open. But as Yun touches it, a system prompt blocks him. The text is written in an unknown dialect. Only an entity fluent in ancient tongues can bypass the lock. Suddenly, another quest notification chimes in. Yun stares at the glowing artifact, realizing stealing from the heavens might have some slight complications. Then a memory hits him. He could just report this location to the Baroness for a massive bounty. Smack. Satan slaps the back of his head. Why did you freeze? Open it, idiot. Yun swats him away. Hold on, let me think. Without the demon's lore drop, he would have snitched to the Baroness and bailed immediately. But now, walking away just feels wrong. Plus, there is zero chance the Baroness could offer anything better than literal divine loot. But the real problem, Yun used cheat-like plausibility points to enter. He is basically a celestial tomb raider. If he reports it, the NPCs will start asking dangerous questions. Secrecy is his best play. He smirks at Satan. Let's open it. The demon cheers. Now that's what I like to hear. Crack it open. Well, spoiler alert. 10 embarrassing minutes later, the divine lid hasn't moved a single inch. Satan is absolutely raging. What the hell are those noodle arms? Pull harder, you weakling. Yun snaps back, veins popping. I'm putting my back into it, you overgrown bat. Fast forward again, and they are still miserably stuck, are completely exhausted. He deeply regrets skipping leg day and ignoring his strength stats. Satan collapses beside him, bragging that if he had his true demon body, one pinky finger could flick this lid away. Yan just groans, realizing he survived all that danger only to get defeated by a literal box. No divine seal, no magical barrier, just a ridiculously heavy rock. Hearing the word rock gives Yan a brilliant idea. He glances at the demon, asking if he is absolutely positive that epic loot is inside. Satan rolls his eyes so hard he almost goes blind, swearing on his demonic pride there is treasure. Why else would the literal devil try this hard? Yan smirks, slapping on his trusty mining goggles. In that case, it is time for Plan B. The system chimes as he equips the Den Destroyer drill. Satan looks absolutely mortified, about to beg him to stop. But Yan just shrugs. If the lid will not budge, he will just have to break it. He hops right onto the ancient tomb, revs up his magical drill, and grins like an absolute maniac. Sometimes brute force is the best strategy. He violently plunges the spinning drill into the sacred coffin, tearing it to shreds. Satan watches in pure horror, muttering that humans are way more demonic than he is. Flash forward 5 seconds and our boy has completely pulverized the artifact. A system window dings, sarcastically congratulating his extraordinary achievement, while casually adding that he is now on the Angel's most wanted list for grave robbery. Inside the dusty wreckage, they spot a creepy skeleton. Yan stares at it completely unimpressed. He scolds Satan for not mentioning they would be looting corpses. Sure, he is no saint, but blending a dead guy into dust is a bit extreme, even for him. Satan snorts, asking if that meant he would have left it alone. Who knew the greedy human had a moral compass? Yan coughs awkwardly, asking what the shiny loot is. Let us just grab the best drop and leave the bones alone. Satan chuckles, fully prepared for this. He points a clawed finger straight at the crusty remains and announces they are taking the bling. The demon grins like a lottery winner, staring at a holy necklace that the angels had been hoarding. Yan snatches the jewelry, and the system screams that he obtained the shining heavenly medallion. Holy aura explodes. Suddenly, the legendary item floats into the air, blazing with blinding divine light. Yan is absolutely clueless, while Satan cowers in terror, shielding his demonic face from the purifying laser show. The devil screams in panic. Meanwhile, Yan feels the epic warmth coursing through his veins, assuming he is getting a massive power boost. A golden screen pops up, declaring he acquired the glorious heaven medallion and unlocked the hidden class Holy Prophet. But before he can do a victory dance over this epic win, a glaring energy ghost points a finger and blasts a warning beam straight at his face. The system violently glitches. Error messages spam the screen, yelling that his stats do not scream saint. There has been a severe data contradiction, so the medallion is officially disabled, and if he is salty about it, he can literally complain to system customer service. Yan just blinks at the useless glowing rock, absolutely flabbergasted. Satan exhales a massive breath, confessing he thought his soul was about to be factory reset by that holy nuke. He demands to know what just happened. Yan throws his hands up. Bro, do I look like a system admin? We need to fix this mess. Another error pops up, promising a bug fix eventually, which is system speech for zero helpful answers. Yan forces a painful smile, muttering under his breath. Absolutely great. Things just got insanely complicated. Meanwhile, over at Mount Fian Mine number 2, near the barony, a random guard stops a newbie player named Hyuntaek. Our boy stops dead sweating and wondering why there is a literal boss mob guarding the dirt. The guard demands an entry pass, dropping the ultimate bomb. Pay up to mine, Hyuntaek stammers. A pass. Since when did dirt have a paywall? He panics internally because the video guide he blindly trusted did not mention anything about microtransactions. The guard smirks, declaring the freeloader era is officially dead. If you want Mount Fian loot, you must fund the regional development, which is just polite fantasy speak for absolute corporate extortion. Hyuntaek nervously asks the price. The greedy guard leans in. 30 gold a month, he claims. What a steal. Our boy's soul leaves his body. 30 gold, that is 1 gold a day, which equals 100,000 won. Multiplied by 30 days, that is 3 million won a month. He bursts into tears, realizing he will never afford this, meaning his get-rich-quick mining dream is dead. The guard, smelling the easiest target of his life, pats his shoulder like an old friend. He totally gets it. You can easily tell from those trash-tier clothes that he is broke as hell. But good news, the Baroness installed a brand new system for penniless scrubs. Sign here and mine forever. Pay later. He points to the nearest customer service spot. Inside, a green-haired, red-eyed beauty sitting right at the window. High Tax is instantly under her spell, drooling like a completely mesmerized fool. The guard next to him, he just smirks. Another sucker takes the bait. He pictures Hytax marching straight into the ultimate trap, destined to become a lifetime mining slave. Meanwhile, inside those caves, it is absolutely stuffed with gullible players who swallowed Yoon's video hook, line, and sinker. They are sweating, screaming to dig faster to clear their debt and start rolling in actual gold. One guy unearths a pathetic tiny crystal and screams like he just won the lottery. That green-haired receptionist watches this circus with a wickedly evil grin. She thinks, such beautiful blind enthusiasm. Boom. The heavy iron cage door slams shut on the doomed souls. She is totally baffled. How did this crowd fall for such an obvious scam? It proves the old saying is true. The thirst for quick cash completely incinerates your brain cells. She is totally convinced this scheme is way too diabolical to be the Baroness's brainchild. The mastermind behind this is an absolute sadist. Meanwhile, Yoon's system suddenly pops a sweet notification. The ore mining quest is clear, and the Baroness is saved. Time to secure that massive bag. He tells Satan to pack it up for the day. Satan cautiously asks about his next move, and Yoon just smirks. Isn't it completely obvious? Satan blinks, a terrible feeling creeping up his spine. Yoon grins widely, casually listing his own crimes like reading a grocery list. Trespassing on angel territory, swiping a divine artifact, obliterating some poor guy's sacred sarcophagus, and thrashing holy remains to yank that medallion out. He is officially a wanted criminal, a degenerate grave robber, and a thief. Basically, absolute societal scum. Satan sweats, asking if it is truly that serious. Yoon immediately lays out the facts. If anyone finds out, his hard life switches to impossible mode. So, he desperately needs to bury the evidence forever. Satan asks how on earth he plans to do that. Yan just summons his glowing energy drill with the most psycho smile imaginable. I am erasing the crime scene. Satan watches in pure horror, realizing this absolute madman is about to nuke the literal stairway to heaven. Yoon just nods with an innocent, angelic smile. Before ruthlessly demolishing the whole room like a crazed bulldozer, he breathes out a deeply satisfied sigh. Perfect. The evidence is completely gone now. Just gotta block the front door and I am golden. Satan is totally shell-shocked, convinced that human beings are the most terrifying monsters alive. Later, back at the Baroness's palace, she excitedly slams her desk, welcoming Yoon back like a victorious war hero. He casually asks if she recruited enough miners. She is literally vibrating with pure joy, screaming, "Thanks to you, we are set for a whole year." She has zero clue what unholy lies he spun in that video. But once it dropped, adventurers swarmed the mines like a crazed Black Friday mob. Yan awkwardly asks for the final head count, and her eyes spin like jackpot slot machines. Over 9,500 players. Before his brilliant scam, only 800 miserable workers dug there. They skim 30% from ore sales, and outside trading is strictly banned. Starstruck, she asks how he even created such a genius trap. Jan averts his eyes, humbly claiming he found inspiration elsewhere. Yeah, right. He totally ripped this scam straight from modern news articles on ruthless corporate exploitation. He notices her completely changed vibe since day one, secretly hoping he did not break her morals. Too late. It is official, folks. Our boy completely corrupted this innocent noblewoman, and now she laughs evilly while milking her new mining slaves dry. At this greedy rate, she might even level up to countess soon from pure profit. Yun awkwardly coughs, pivoting the topic to his reward because her new villain energy is getting genuinely scary. Snapping back, she drops a comically massive coin bag on the desk. 120 gold and 23 silver. Roughly 120 million in cash. Rent is paid for life. But wait, she is not done. She suddenly offers him the Vice Lord seat over the entire barony, splitting all power 50-50. The system chimes, warning this massively spikes her affection stats. Jan just stares at the juicy, tempting offer, sweating over what the hell he should do. Meanwhile, deep in Arcadia's hidden lore server, a blonde dude named Jack gently tells a girl named Jenica how deeply thankful he is. She helped him discover true happiness. He literally coded this entire world of Arcadia exclusively for her. But suddenly, Alice the system admin materializes. Jack frowns as glaring red system errors start popping up across his god-tier monitors. Alice coldly reports a critical glitch. Her admin privileges are completely locked out of this mess, which is exactly why she desperately needs his help. Jack bursts into laughter, scanning the wild bug report. It is all about our chaotic bard. Even he, the literal god of this game engine, never predicted such insane chaos. His grin widens, whispering that a genuine, unpredictable glitch has finally crashed into his perfectly balanced world. And oh boy, things are about to get legendary. Jack is getting completely hyped because this bug is beautifully insane. You see, our boy Yan did not just swipe some ordinary trash loot, he somehow secured the mythic Heaven's Medallion, a god-tier artifact strictly hard-coded for only one chosen player in the entire server, the Holy the Prophet, the absolute legend of the Great Demon War storyline. But right now, Yun is holding 2 glitch-level artifacts, and the game engine is literally screaming for mercy. Jack is dying of laughter, claiming, "This is pure cinema. Building Arcadia was the best decision ever, because this absolute disaster is peak comedy." Alice's admin windows aggressively multiply, panicking over the technical errors. She cannot just gift the Holy Prophet class away. Jack smirks, noting he will handle that headache later. Something way funnier demands his attention. Since our boy found such epic loot, they must reward him. By secretly nerfing the medallion's stats, Alice sweats, asking if admin abuse is really necessary, but Jack just nods. This player totally smashed his game's delicate balance. Therefore, a little spicy admin intervention is required. Meanwhile, Yun stares blankly at the Baroness's golden employment contract. He bows awkwardly, politely declining the trap. Miguel gasps in pure disbelief. "Are my terms too cheap? Did I accidentally lowball you?" Yun waves his hands, explaining he is a free spirit. Maybe after mapping the entire continent, he will think about it. Internally, his survival instincts are screaming that this lady is walking trouble. A long-term contract here means endless headaches. Suddenly, her face brightens like the sun. Taking his polite rejection as a solid maybe, she leans in uncomfortably close. "You promise." Yun instantly sweats, dodging her extreme lack of personal space boundaries. She quickly shoves a heavy envelope into his hands. "In that case, take this." It is her royal recommendation letter. Holding this baby guarantees elite security across the entire nation. A system prompt cheerfully chimes his new loot. Yun blinks, wondering why he would even need bodyguards. Miguel deadpans, asking if he genuinely lives under a rock. The kingdom is a blazing dumpster fire right now. Honestly, even a mountain of free passes will not save his neck out there. Yun tilts his head. The community forums never mentioned a civil war. Clearly, this is exclusive non-player character gossip. She spills the tea. The royal bloodline is a complete mess. The monarch is basically ancient history. The crown prince must step up, but the kid still drinks from a juice box. The greedy nobles smell blood in the water, treating the boy like a helpless puppet. The absolute worst boss is Duke Burhan. He gathered the elite aristocracy to steal the throne. Now he is baiting a massive turf war with their neighbors, just to legally loot the royal bank account under the disguise of war funds. If that snake wins, the nation is toast. Yun is practically sweating bullets. He did not log in for a Game of Thrones. He wants to be a million miles away from this toxic political nonsense. But Miguel ruthlessly continues. Her letter proves he single-handedly fixed her economy. Flashing that badge at the royals means instant luxury treatment. First stop, though, he must locate Count Brocken, who will totally appreciate his skills. She begs him to save the Maroon Kingdom. Yun is internally throwing a massive tantrum. He literally just tried dodging this bullet, and she strapped him directly to the main cannon. The system chimes maliciously. The Maroon Kingdom is drowning in bloodthirsty enemies. But alas, a chaotic wind blows. You cannot be the Bard of Anarchy if you run away now. Grasp this spicy plotline with both hands, surf this tidal wave of drama, and become the ultimate game changer for the royal family. Warning, your trolling will alter destiny. Yun glares at the holographic text. This is no silly little side hustle. It is a locked-in, unskippable main scenario. The brutal system just kidnapped him for the plot. He forces a painful smile, promising to help while dying inside. Miguel cheers with sparkling eyes. She knew her favorite hero would not fold. Later, Yun drags his feet out the gates, while she waves like an obsessed fan, screaming for him to call her anytime. Yun offers a stiff, traumatized wave, deeply regretting every choice that led to this friendship. Meanwhile, Miguel stands proudly on her balcony, trusting her sharp aristocratic instincts. She is 100% positive that this beautifully chaotic rogue is destined to flip the continent upside down. And guess what? She hit the jackpot. This walking disaster of a protagonist is about to crash Arcadia's servers, completely against his will. His ridiculous choices will rewrite the destiny of millions. The butterfly effect he triggers is insane, even if his logic is absolute garbage. But hey, virtual reality was built for players to wreck things. Can we honestly blame him for being the ultimate wildcard the developers secretly feared? Buckle up, because the apocalyptic storm he is brewing right now will make his past trolling look like a cute kindergarten play. Seriously, his old crimes were basically wholesome. Strolling past the city limits, his pet Satan squints suspiciously. Are we genuinely surviving this? Yun blinks. The dark spirit groans. Human politics is pure nightmare fuel. Yeah, it sounds heroic and all, but are you really swan diving into this royal meat grinder? Jan stares dramatically into the horizon. He didn't exactly sign up for this epic mess, but Mama didn't raise a quitter. He has to see this chaotic quest through to the end. Satan's jaw literally hits the floor at this unexpected dedication. Our boy is just farming those sweet story progression points. Why the heck not, right? Suddenly a system window flashes. System error completely resolved. The Glorious Heavens medallion has received a massive stat overhaul. Apology accepted system, / The upgraded loot materializes out of thin air, blasting out a blinding holy flashbang. Satan instantly cowers behind January. He shrieks, asking why this shiny piece of junk randomly caught on fire. Jan can only blink through the blinding glare in total shock. The holy light condenses into a brilliant silhouette. Boom. Radiating pure, unfiltered divine energy, Satan completely loses his mind. No, this is absolutely not happening. But oh, ladies and gentlemen, it is totally happening. The system chimes in with the final hilarious punchline. Item effect triggered, connection to a higher entity established. Your personal guardian angel has been summoned. Oh, and the best part, it is permanently soulbound. No takebacks, no refunds. The glowing light finally fades. An angelic girl is revealed, sprinkling sparkly divine particles absolutely everywhere. The system officially drops her title. Behold her brilliant holiness, Archangel Michael. But wait, she is pint-sized. The exact same chibi proportions as Satan. Yep, our protagonist just accidentally gotcha-pulled an actual archangel. Talk about a permanent holy companion. He is literally living out the ultimate cartoon trope right now. A tiny angel on his right shoulder and a devil on his left. Grab your popcorn, folks. Everybody knows that heaven and hell mix like oil and water. Peace was never an option. Both supreme faction leaders are now basically roommates in the same guy's inventory. Cut to later that night in the dark forest. Satan is throwing a massive temper tantrum. Begone, foul, glowing pigeon. Master, cancel this summon right this second. Michael fires back with equal chibi fury. She tells the whiny demon to take a hike. She only popped out of sheer curiosity. And surprise. She catches him trashing a perfectly good sacred forest. Have you completely lost your demonic marbles? Satan furiously defends his landscaping choices, claiming she would do the exact same thing. Michael just crosses her tiny arms. Have you forgotten your last beating? Do we need a round 2? Satan instantly squares up. Jan stares with deadpan eyes. He is so done with this epic nonsense. He steps between the two pint-sized terrors, demanding a magical timeout. Satan screams at his human to step aside. He wants to roast this winged pig. Michael claps back with divine sass. The only uncultured swine here is him. Satan's tiny face turns beet red. Oh, if I only had my true terrifying form right now. The angel rolls her eyes so hard they almost get stuck. I am nerfed too, loser. Plus you ran away crying last time. You used a pay-to-win sacred weapon. You absolute cheater, Satan shrieks. Show me the rulebook that bans holy gear. Read the terms of service, crybaby, Michael retorts. Jan rubs his temples. These two sound like toddlers fighting over toys. Are these really supposed to be legendary mythical beings? Suddenly, Michael spins around and locks onto our protagonist. She flutters right up to his face. Are you the poor soul who contracted this red menace? Jan awkwardly nods his head. Quote, though he didn't exactly read the fine print. Satan angrily reminds Jan about all those sweet dark power buffs. Michael's eyes sparkle with sudden excitement. Such massive special power is super dangerous in the wrong hands, especially in the grubby little claws of a sneaky flying sewer rat. Who are you calling a rat, you overcooked chicken? Michael flawlessly ignores the screaming demon. She admits the contract is locked, so Jan must simply resist the dark side. Flashing a sickeningly sweet smile, she vows to be his personal guardian angel. She will guide him back to the light. Satan lets out a super-villainous squeaky chuckle. Oh, how tragically naive. Does she really think the demon lord will allow this? He vows to corrupt this innocent human into the ultimate menace. Jan nervously sweats bullets. Honestly, the demon is not wrong. His Bard of Anarchy class is designed for pure chaos and destruction. His track record in Arcadia is already pretty darn villainous, but Michael refuses to listen to logic. In her holy eyes, humanity is the ultimate masterpiece, filled with pure, kind hearts. Her divine mission is to buff those wholesome traits to the max. She flutters closer. I shall guide you to absolute goodness. Oh, and he can casually call her Ellie. Satan crosses his tiny arms, absolutely disgusted by the wholesome positive vibes. He reluctantly agrees to tolerate this glowing nuisance for Jan's sanity, but the boy's dark corruption belongs entirely to him. Ellie just hits him with a sassy smirk. She finds his delusions of ownership completely hilarious. You are so funny. Demons have zero shame and zero conscience, she roasts. Satan flies up, veins popping. I signed the contract first. Wait your turn. Ellie just laughs out loud. What would a demon even do with human decency anyway? Probably just ruin it completely, bringing ruin to the heavenly realm again. Did he think his evil scheme would work? You sneaky flying rat. Satan absolutely loses it, screaming at this overgrown pigeon with a halo. Jan just watches, realizing he gained one extremely loud companion. He almost calls her Michael but pauses, saying Ellie instead. She turns around blinking. Jan smirks. Angel or demon, it genuinely does not matter here. Cash is king. Welcome to a purely cutthroat capitalist free market. He flashes a greedy grin. He did not give his services to Satan for free, so what is her angelic payoff? Pay up, that is the golden rule. Nothing is free. Ellie blinks in shock, then bursts into absolute ringing laughter, realizing this mortal wants to negotiate a heavenly transaction. Oh, the heavens know all about business. She boasts she holds supreme divine artifacts, want a legendary weapon. Jan instantly rejects it. No gear, thanks. He requires combat skills. Ellie tilts her head, utterly confused by the request. Jan sighs, realizing this angel lacks gamer logic. He explains his base combat stats are utter trash. He needs actual abilities to survive. Ellie smiles sweetly, asking if he simply desires raw power. Jan calculates. His Bard class farms plausibility points, but the drawback? Zero leveling system. He is stuck with useless life skills like mining and diving. Sure, Satan provides shiny loot drops to cover his pathetic attack damage, but gear has limits. He desperately needs an active skill. Suddenly, Ellie has a brilliant idea. She knows the absolute perfect loophole. Ding. The system announces the Guardian Angel Pact is sealed. He unlocks divine intervention. By spending hard-earned points, he can temporarily rent ridiculous holy powers. Ellie winks, confirming heaven is now officially his backup muscle. Jan does the math. Does summoning crazier power require paying higher premium fees? His smile widens. This is practically pay to win, time for a field test. He instantly casts divine intervention. Boom. An absolutely absurd wave of holy aura explodes from his body. Satan shrieks in pure terror. As majestic pillars of divine light pierce the very heavens, a wandering mob of ugly orcs spots this ridiculous beacon of raw energy. Meanwhile, Jan is browsing a glowing system menu like a fast food screen full of legendary heroes. He spots Farhan, the Knight of Honor. This is hilariously broken. Our guy just unlocked God mode on a premium plan. The clueless orcs boldly march up to Jan. Hand over your shiny loot or die fast. Human Jan just beams a bright smile at these tragic fools. Impeccable timing. He just bought a shiny new toy, and they are the perfect crash test dummies. Ding system alert. Activating divine descent, calling forth the Knight of Honor Farhan. Meanwhile, the scene shifts to a highly depressing underground mine. Players sweat 24/7 dreaming of gold. But these poor, pathetic souls are slowly realizing they got absolutely scammed. Look at this guy, Hyungtak. He is literally sobbing, hugging his sad, rusty pickaxe. His friends are probably out slaying dragons while he is rotting in this pixelated forced labor camp. He cannot even message them. I am paying off virtual debt in a mine. Way too humiliating. The poor man is having a complete mental breakdown. How did he fall for a pyramid scheme inside a game? Forget the imaginary digital currency. He just wants to see the fake sun again. Suddenly, a loud scuffle. Two burly guards drag a completely fresh new victim into the cursed pits. The noob is screaming, I bought a premium capsule for epic quests not to swing an axe in some digital sweatshop. The guards sneer. Look at this fool. Another runner caught trying to skip the bill. Hyungtak stares up in pure shock. The green-haired guard drops a massive reality check. Listen up, if you log out to escape your debt, the system flags you as an outlaw. You get banned from every single city in the empire. The second guard chuckles. Running is pointless. You will just come crawling back to dig rocks. So shut your mouth and mine. They violently glare at Hyungtak. Were you planning a prison break too? Our boy flinches. Nope, totally happy here. He instantly goes back to furiously smashing rocks, crying and cursing the developers who coded this nightmare ding system alert. Your mining skill reached rank 5. Congratulations, slave. You unlocked the depressing title Persistent Miner. Suddenly, a cosmic entity known as the Ever-Burning Flame notices him. It loves his endless suffering with iron. Hyungtak stares at the shiny text box through waterfalls of tears. What in the world is an ever-burning flame? Before he can ask, a guard viciously barks at him to stop slacking. Swing that pickaxe, maggot. He profusely apologizes, mining wildly. Back to Yan, who just unleashed the Knight of Honor. The system instantly dumps a massive, legendary lore block on screen. This guy is the ultimate holy crusader. A cheat code of victory, the mere sight of his blade makes all demons absolutely terrified. Blah blah blah, absolute justice. Long story short, he is beyond overpowered. The Dark Forces call him the Demon Slayer because he casually wiped out their entire species for fun. Cue an epic cinematic flashback of him facing massive demon. The beast clutches its shattered arm, absolutely shook that Farhan bypassed its ultimate defense. Our boy Farhan charges up his blade, declaring the monster is next. The demon growls, but bam! Farhan instantly one-shots the beast with zero effort. The system suddenly alerts Yun that sacred essence is surging through his veins. He can temporarily wield divine powers, and he has full access to all of Farhan's legendary skills. Suddenly, Yun is holding the hero's epic sword and shield, and Satan is absolutely losing his mind. Yun smirks, finally realizing what this broken skill actually does, and it is way better than expected. Satan flies up to him, totally freaking out, screaming why this specific psycho possessed him. Yun blinks in confusion, asking if Satan knows who Farhan even is. Satan looks violently disgusted. He screams that every demon in hell knows this maniac. The guy has literally terrorized everyone in the underworld, even the harmless little demons. Yun chuckles to himself, realizing Farhan is a glorious legend in the human world, but basically a crazy serial killer to the demons. He turns his attention to the orcs, who have been standing there frozen like statues, and politely apologizes for the delay. Now the real boss fight can begin. The orcs are just sweating silently, desperately trying to process the absolute madness they just witnessed. The middle orc growls, demanding to know what the heck just happened. How did this tiny human suddenly become so insanely overpowered? Yun is just grinning ear to ear, thinking even these ugly mobs can sense his massive level up. He notes that basic monsters would attack blindly, but these mini-bosses actually have 2 brain cells to rub together. Here's the funny part. After leaving the barony, Yun took a sneaky route through a haunted forest that nobody uses because a level 25 orc robber camps there. It is officially the absolute shortest path, but everyone is too terrified to use it. Back to the action. The boss orc swings his massive sword with a deafening roar. Yun casually pops Unshakable Will, summoning a gigantic energy shield that perfectly blocks the heavy strike. He peeks out from behind the glowing barrier with a cheeky smile. Now this is a proper block, he laughs. He then tells the sweaty orc it is his turn, and sincerely hopes the big guy does not die in one hit. The system chimes in. Sacred Shield has entered combat mode. Yun activates Fair Punishment and Burning Dawn, raising his hand to summon an absolutely massive sword of pure divine energy. With Farhan's legendary silhouette glowing right inside it, the orc boss is practically crying, shouting that this human is way too scary and he should not get any closer. Yun flashes the most villainous smile ever, tells the ugly bastards to line up, and unleashes a totally devastating attack. Ding. The system pops up, announcing that divine intervention has ended. It ruthlessly calculates he burned 352 plausibility points for the strict time limit and holy transformation. The epic energy fades away, and Yun just stands there glaring at the bill, super bummed out that they all died in literally one hit. Meanwhile, Ellie watches with her jaw on the floor, thinking it is biologically impossible for a normal human to casually handle that much insane power. Then it hits her like a truck. She finally gets why the creator sent her here. This crazy guy can change the entire world. She giggles quietly, finally realizing his true ridiculous potential. Yun is just standing there pouting, thinking he really wanted a decent fight like the good old days, but these absolute scrubs could not even tank a single hit. The scene shifts, and we see Satan and Ellie snoozing peacefully, while Yun sits grumpily under a tree, glaring hardcore at his glowing system window, double-checking the insane details of that divine intervention skill. He figures it is a blessing he got to test drive it in a real fight, because now he knows the exact pros and cons. The biggest pro: it completely nukes the massive level gap between him and whatever poor soul he is fighting. Before this cheat code, he had to rely on stupidly expensive items from the shop, but those cost a total fortune, and he definitely could not afford every weapon type. Plus, his gear had limited durability, meaning he was basically gambling his life in every tough boss fight. This new skill solves that issue perfectly. But then comes the massive wallet-crushing downside. Bullying 3 weak orcs took him maybe 3 minutes. 10 minutes max if he was goofing off, and it still cost him a downright stupid amount of plausibility points. Yun sits there sweating bullets, realizing that if he fought a genuinely strong boss, he would literally go bankrupt on system points. And that is only half of the headache. He has to master role-playing as every single available hero, which, honestly, sounds incredibly fun when he thinks about it. Ellie suddenly giggles and completely calls him out, asking if he just seriously listed fun as a major downside. Yun snaps his head around, asking if the angel is already awake. She smiles warmly, claiming all angels wake up early, unlike certain lazy demons. She side-eyes Satan, who is still passed out in the dirt, looking peaceful as heck. She tells Yoon she noticed his intense anxiety over the skill costs. But he needs to respect that Farhan is legitimately one of the most overpowered warriors in history. Summoning a literal god-tier being to Earth is obviously worth the expensive price tag. But what is really crazy is what plausibility points actually achieve. They literally make the impossible totally possible, which is mind-blowing when you really think about it. Yoon just stares at her with a highly annoyed, deadpan expression. He thinks she is super great at giving majestic TED Talks, but not really helping him save cash. He sighs heavily. Whatever. He will just hoard his points, use the skill only in absolute emergencies, and speedrun his fights. Form. Ellie nods, praising his wise choice. Yoon just smirks, wondering if familiars even need beauty sleep. Meanwhile, welcome to the Kingdom of Maroon, the grand stage of Arcadia's Korean server. Sure, their internal politics are an absolute dumpster fire right now, but to the masses, Maroon shines like a beacon of absolute wealth and power. Sitting right smack in the heart of the second continent, their location is an absolute goldmine. They are raking in insane cash from trade routes. Naturally, giant trade guilds swarm this place like bees to honey. Outside the flashy GM Dealers Association headquarters, a wealthy merchant is throwing a massive tantrum. He is screaming about delivering goods while the guildmaster is completely missing in action. He knows adventurer guilds are chaotic, but this is just flat-out disrespectful. Suddenly, a sharp-dressed man rocking an eye patch and a tailored suit steps up smoothly, apologizing for the delay. The merchant snarls, demanding to know who this nobody is. With a flawless bow, the man introduces himself as John Smith, the head manager of GM. He politely explains that sadly, he is not the big boss, but this humble manager is at his service. John shoots the merchant a dead serious look, revealing their leader is tied up in a top-secret meeting. And inside the VIP room, we see exactly why. The ultimate powerhouse of Maroon Duke Burhan himself is sitting right across from the guildmaster. The Duke casually extends a hand. He drops a bomb. A bloody war between Maroon and Parkle is absolutely inevitable. The tension has been brewing for ages. It is time to crush old rivals and drown Maroon in absolute wealth and glory. Guildmaster Choi flashes a business smile politely, asking how his humble guild can serve the kingdom. But inside, he is sweating bullets, thinking this Duke is way too cunning for a simple NPC. Burhan could unleash legions of soldiers with a single word. He is incredibly lethal, wrapped in dark rumors. The whole server knows he is hungry for the throne, but for GM he is the ultimate golden goose. This tyrant can make them disgustingly rich. Choi never dreamed he would hook the Duke this early. Thank the gaming gods his team prepped a master strategy. Time to give his crew a massive bonus. Flashback time. Guildmaster Choi Jeju is actually the spoiled youngest son of the GM Group chairman. Back in the real world, his furious father was absolutely roasting him, listing off his pathetic corporate failures. Director fired. Head office manager. Trashed. He ruins everything and just runs away. His dad screams, demanding if he even knows he is the company joke. One more strike and he is cut out of the will forever. Snap back to the present. This epic meeting is his last lifeline. Burhan notes that GM is run by fearless adventurers. He handpicked them for this exact reason. The Duke had heard whispers of their explosive growth and ironclad loyalty. And seeing them now, the legends are totally real. His royal order, buy every single grain of food in existence, and the payout will be astronomical. Jeju smirks, ready to close the deal. But before he can speak, Burhan silences him with a chilling smile. In exchange for monopolizing the food supply, GM gets total dominance over the kingdom's trade routes. The catch: keep their mouths shut to avoid triggering alarms, hence this ultra-secret VIP meeting. Trembling with pure greed, Jeju eagerly accepts. Mission accomplished. Burhan sweeps out of the room. Jeju sinks into his throne, grinning like a madman. This is his golden ticket. He excitedly barks at Manager Smith, screaming that they just bagged the holy grail of quests. John nods, almost slipping up and calling him young master, but smoothly corrects it to guildmaster. Jeju is absolutely losing it. He immediately wants to dial his ruthless father for a massive cash injection to secure the win. But John shuts that down instantly. Request denied. Jeju's jaw drops. Why the hell not? John sighs, asking if his boss has amnesia. The company already dumped $8 million into this guild. Squeezing out another dime is impossible. Jeju panics, whining that they need more funds. But then he realizes the Duke's payout will cover everything anyway. He shrugs off the rejection. Whatever his current war chest is, thick enough. His villainous master plan finally clicks into place. He will fuel Duke Burhan's massive army, and when the Duke crushes Parkle and usurps that weak ancient king, The entire Korean server of Arcadia will fall right into the palm of his hand. He lets out a totally unhinged villain laugh. His old man will finally bow to his genius. With Arcadia conquered, he will be absolutely unstoppable. Meanwhile, let's check on Maroon's third-in-command, Count Bracken. He sits on his ridiculously fancy chair glaring at our boy, asking if that stubborn baroness really sent him as a messenger. Then the arrogant count snatches the quest letter Yun delivered. He sneers, questioning if this is her supposed recommendation. Yun just shrugs. Honestly, no clue what it says. But the Baroness hyped it up, saying it proves his legendary achievements and should score him some major brownie points. But then Bracken commits the ultimate violation. He ruthlessly rips the rare quest item to shreds. Without reading a single word, Yoon just stands there completely paralyzed. Like, bro, what the actual hell? Why did you just destroy it? Bracken glares at him with maximum suspicion, demanding the Baroness's true motive. Yan just smirks, catching on to the game. He decides honesty is the best policy and drops the bomb. Beats me, man. She just told me to babysit you. Seriously, how is a low-tier adventurer supposed to read the twisted minds of these crazy nobles? They lock eyes in a deadly stare-down while the Count processes the audacity. Then, out of nowhere, Bracken's terrifying face breaks into a massive grin. He bursts out laughing, declaring he loves this kid. Still chuckling, the puzzle clicks. Miki sent Yan because she thinks he is the wild card to stop the massive war brewing between the two kingdoms. Yan flashes a cheeky smile, asking if he looks like a guy with insane political pull. Bracken smirks. Yan did not even blink at the word war, meaning Miki already spilled the absolute tea on everything. She clearly trusts him, so what is the master plan? Yan shrugs. He knows the crown prince is stuck, and the shady nobles are backing Duke Burhan, right? Bracken nods. Yan taps his chin, offering two ways to fix this mess. The easy way, or the hard way? Bracken bites. The easy way. Yan raises one finger like a wise guru, asking if Duke Burhan is the final boss here. Because usually when you chop off the snake's head, the whole evil conspiracy crumbles instantly. Bracken's face drops dead serious. Is this crazy kid actually suggesting they assassinate Duke Burhan? Yan just beams. Why not? Bracken absolutely loses his mind, laughing like a maniac. He calls Yan a fascinating lunatic, praising Mickey's taste and allies. Yan just sits there sweating, thinking this giant's voice is a literal earthquake. Bracken finally catches his breath. Yeah, I have dreamed about it too, but high nobles do not just die easily. Burhan is heavily shielded by the kingdom's absolute best knights and mages 24/7. His royal guards are always craving a fight. The Count would love to meet the insane bastard willing to run that suicide mission. Yan happily points at his own chest and says he will do it. Bracken is utterly stunned. Did Yan just claim he would solo the boss? He chuckles. No offense, but a scrawny kid like you could not even scratch the Duke's armor. He spots Yan's level 1 status and sighs. There is zero chance he can assassinate Burhan. Yan just grins. What is wrong, scared? I cannot back it up. The Count is taken aback by the kid's burning confidence. He laughs loudly. Ah, the arrogance of youth. Absolutely fearless. He kicks his chair back, standing up like a mountain, and tells Yan to follow. They step out to the training grounds. Bracken declares that since Yan is so damn cocky, he needs to survive a little sparring match. He drops a heavy hand on Yan's shoulder. Miki might be impatient, but she never picks trash allies, and he trusts her crazy judgment. Suddenly, a monstrous aura erupts from the Count. Flashing an evil grin, he warns Yan not to disappoint him. A system window violently pops up. Master of the Sword, Shield of the Kingdom. The third strongest monster in the nation, Count Bracken. Yan just smirks instantly, activating Divine Descent. This time, he calls upon the legendary Wandering Knight Kofelis. Boom. A catastrophic wave of energy explodes from Yan's body, blasting into the sky. Bracken is completely shook. What the hell is happening? The kid's pathetic aura just mutated into something terrifying. A second ago, he was a level 1 nobody. Now, he is radiating the overwhelming bloodlust of a seasoned god of war. The system blares. The Wandering Knight Kofelis has possessed the player. Supreme power unlocked. Yan flashes a wicked grin and drops 2 words. 5 minutes. Bracken blinks, totally confused. Yan casually explains he will crush this in 5 minutes to save his precious plausibility points. Boom. He activates Sliding Gate and blitzes forward at godlike speed. System alerts spam the view. Will of the decisive battle wins sword. Blessed by the Earth Spirit. He is completely stacked with buffs. Yan closes the gap instantly. Clang steel screams against steel. Bracken blocks, but his arms tremble. This kid hits like a runaway freight train. Yan looks up with a cheeky smile, joking that he expected to one-shot him. Turns out, a swordmaster actually knows how to swing a blade. Yan flips backward gracefully. Bracken wipes a smirk, admitting Yan is definitely not some trash-tier adventurer. Yan laughs, asking if it took a crater to figure that out. Bracken admits when Yan claimed he could solo the Duke, he thought it was pure delusion. But feeling that strike, The crazy kid was dead serious. Yen cheerfully asks if he passed the little test then. Bracken chuckles darkly, telling him to hold his horses. The Count needs to flex his own muscles now. He activates Formless Blade. His massive sword ignites with a violently intense red aura. He glares at our boy with the eyes of a beast, declaring he is an unfinished warrior ready for war. But this boomer actually has the skills to back up his ego. He flexes his glowing aura, blade, and smirks. Here is the proof. Yun sweats a little. Do we seriously have to go this hard? But Bracken literally does not give a single crap. He fires off a massive energy blast, screaming at the top of his lungs to see how our boy handles the heat. The strike almost lands, but Yun casually whips out the formless sword skill and parries it like a total boss. Bracken stares at Yun dual-wielding pure energy. His jaw hits the floor. Wait, is that the legendary shapeless sword arts? He knows that move. Only true grandmasters can pull that off. But before he can even panic, the system ruins the mood. Alert player just dropped a level 150 plus skill and burned extra plausibility points. Yun immediately glares at the sky. Bro, are you kidding me? More points. Now he is doing the math. This flashy garbage costs a fortune. Meanwhile, the Count just watches this guy mumbling to himself, thinking his opponent might actually need a therapist. Yun suddenly charges, screaming that playtime is officially over. He unleashes the most disgusting combo ever seen. Energy blades flashing everywhere while Bracken is barely surviving. Our main character goes absolute goblin mode, dropping hundreds of ruthless strikes while the Count sweats bullets desperately trying not to die. Then Yun flashes an evil smirk. Checkmate, he drops a ridiculously fast slash right past Bracken's ear. The Count's weapon gets yeeted into orbit. Bracken eats dirt as the system chimes in. Divine intervention has expired. The old man pats himself down, then internally throws a party because he is somehow still breathing. Back to Yun, the system hands him the receipt. 2,812 plausibility points wasted. But hey, outstanding achievement unlocked. You beat a swordmaster and got the title Amazing Fighter plus 10 strength. Yun is practically frothing at the mouth, yelling at a blue screen for robbing him of 3,000 points. Ellie pokes her head out, noting he went from 0 to unhinged real quick. Honestly, it is the first time he looked like he was having fun. She checks out the completely wrecked courtyard and asks if he took fencing lessons. Yun casually shrugs. Yeah, I studied the blade a little. Just not in this dimension. Ellie is stunned. Turns out he just sweat so hard in a VR game that he became a real-life god. Hey, a win is a win. Bracken slowly peels himself off the floor, mind utterly blown. He, a top-tier elite of the Maroon Kingdom, got completely clowned. Remembering that final slash, he realizes Yun is an absolute monster. He drops to one knee and begs to know his elemental alignment. Yun scratches his chin. Maybe wind. Bracken completely loses his mind. The power of wind, so swift, so free. He stares at his hands, super salty that he is not that cool, then immediately goes back to grinding his sword swings. Fast forward, Satan asks why this old geezer is still swinging at ghosts in the dark. Yun just shrugs. No idea. Next scene, we are in the Count's office. Bracken is bowing at 90 degrees, begging our boy to forgive his boomer behavior. Yun cringes a bit, saying it is totally fine, chill out. Then Bracken gets super serious. Back to business. Are we really going to assassinate the Duke Yun deadpans? Duh, he is the bad guy, so it is the easiest fix. Bracken admits he could probably secure the kill, but doing that would turn the royal court into a total dumpster fire. Yun asks if he knows the Gordian knot. Bracken looks clueless. Yun drops some lore. It is an impossible puzzle, but there is one hilarious cheat code. Any guesses? The Count is stumped. Yun flashes a wicked grin. You just chop it in half. You could waste your whole life untangling it, or just use a giant sword. As for the political fallout, plot armor will save us. Bracken sweats, thinking this kid is insanely reckless. But somehow he is the only one with a cure for the kingdom's headache. And frankly, there are zero better options. He signs up for the madness because Yun seems confident. Then it hits him. This adventurer is not just a hidden sword master. He is the craziest, most dangerous man breathing. Ding. The system pops up. Player has officially started messing with the main storyline of the Maroon Kingdom. Mission updated. New side quest acquired. The kingdom is boxed in by enemies and needs to survive the political bloodbath. But a crazy storm is brewing. You cannot call yourself the Bard of Anarchy if you do not exploit this chaos. Time to ride the hype train and manipulate the royal family from the shadows. Side quest unlocked. Assassinate Duke Bernhyun stares at the blue screen. A side quest? Even the system is tired of this villain's nonsense. Satan bursts out laughing. Are we actually ending this bozo? Ellie panics, asking if they are really committing murder, and obviously the two familiars start brawling. Satan yells, got a problem with it. Yun prayed for no preachy angel nonsense. Surprisingly, Ellie's issue wasn't the murder. She just hated cowardly assassinations. Real warriors declare their hits, Yun blinked. Wait, so the angel was totally cool with homicide, as long as he announced it like a gentleman. Ellie nodded with absolute conviction. If blood must spill, give the guy a polite 3-day warning. Or at least a formal prepare to die memo. Satan facepalmed so hard his horns rattled. This feathered fanatic was completely unhinged. He knew her halo was screwed on tight. Ellie hissed back, rejecting a filthy demon's logic. As Satan flared up, Yoon waved a hand. Time out, guys. Nobody is dying today. Angel and demon spun around. What did that mean? Yoon smirked. You never just trust one side of a war. Why would the Duke start a random bloodbath? There is always hidden loot. From a pure player perspective, a kingdom civil war is just a massive questline. But honestly, only one thing actually matters here. Pure, unadulterated profit. Whoever pays the highest bounty gets his sword. Satan was speechless at the sheer greed, but Ellie instantly snapped. Absolutely not. A contract is sacred. She ordered Yoon to go slaughter the Duke immediately. Satan's jaw hit the floor. Was she really an angel? Throwing all morals out the window for personal gain? Yep, that is the true wandering adventurer mindset. Meanwhile, back in the real world at GM Group headquarters, a frantic news anchor blared on screen. Rival guild Agent Electronics just saw their stock shatter 5 million won. Chairman Lee Jun had dropped a massive bombshell about their new virtual reality game Arcadia, and Wall Street was frothing at the mouth. This wasn't just a game. It was a revolution powered by their insane new tech, the Dreamer console. GM Group's chairman Choi Sun-young glared at the broadcast. His eye twitched. They were bragging about this Dreamer nonsense again. He was seething. What kind of black magic made that tech possible? Just 5 years ago, GM and Agent Electronics were neck and neck, fighting brutal corporate wars for the absolute top spot. But then the smartphone era crashed. Weird new tech took over, and the entire battlefield flipped upside down. The terrifying truth. One single gaming headset had monopolized the entire global economy. Sun-young broke into a cold sweat. If GM stuck to boring old construction projects, their empire would crumble to dust. They desperately needed a miracle. Suddenly, the intercom buzzed. His useless son Ju had arrived. The door slammed open. The kid marched in grinning like an idiot, screaming about top-tier news, and demanding 8 billion won. The chairman choked. 8 billion. Didn't he just burn through an 8 billion allowance yesterday? The spoiled brat was a bottomless pit. Ju scratched his head. Yeah, but this time it is a massive guild emergency. Just trust him one last time. Sun-young's blood pressure skyrocketed. He was ready to strangle the boy. Why did he need 8 billion for a video game? This pathetic heir spent all day grinding levels in their rival's digital world. He thought the boy had matured, but he had actually lost his mind. If he wanted a single penny, he better have a god-tier business proposal. Bam! Ju slammed a mountain of official documents right onto the mahogany desk. The chairman flinched. What was this garbage? Ju just smirked confidently. Read it. And weep, old man. Sun-young squinted at the cover page. Master plan to conquer the Maroon Kingdom. His eyes widened as he read through the insane strategies. Was this actually real? Ju laughed. Duh. He even secured an alliance with the Duke. The kingdom's top boss was in his pocket. The ultimate hack. If this hostile takeover succeeded, GM could build their own rival servers and crush Agent Electronics. The chairman's gaze turned dangerously sharp. Then he dropped a bomb. Forget 8. He would fund him 50 billion won. But this was a one-shot deal. No respawns, no more allowances. Fail, and he is disowned. Ju bowed like a champion, swore absolute victory, and practically danced out the door. Left alone, the Keeble boss sat in stunned silence. Virtual geopolitics. Digital royal affairs. It was a whole parallel universe. A vicious smile crept onto his face. He thought games were just pixels, but this was high-stakes warfare. He stared at the city skyline. The rules of power had officially evolved. Meanwhile, deep inside the game's servers, heavily armored guards flanked the Duke's luxurious private chambers. Inside, the Duke was hosting Lord Leonio, a shadowy diplomat from the frozen Harmel Empire. The Duke raised an eyebrow. Why travel from the freezing north to his doorstep? Leonio looked deadly serious. Spies had confirmed the Duke's impending rebellion, and the Empire wanted a slice of the pie. They offered absolute military backing to crush his enemies. But it came with one massive catch. The price for victory. Handing over the legendary Hyrule Valley territories. Accept and the ultimate alliance was forged. Make him king of Maroon. Burhan's jaw drops as he totally scans this messenger. His mind immediately jumps to Hyrule Valley, that rocky wasteland bordering Maroon and Herald. The Empire is practically drooling over this terrain to beef up their defenses. No hidden traps here. They shake on it, and Burhan, flashing a sly smirk, claims he is absolutely thrilled to do business. Leonio drops a dramatic speech about mutual trust, then dramatically exits stage left with a deadpan face. The moment the door clicks, Burhan bursts into premium villain laughter. All according to plan, he sneers. He is obsessed with the classic trope, below one, above the masses. Being the ultimate shadow boss fits his ego perfectly. Sure, there is technically one boss above him, but his wicked grin widens when he remembers his so-called superior is literally an 8-year-old toddler. What a joke. This nation needs a big-brained king, not a shiny desk ornament. He dramatically clenches his fist. Destiny is calling his name. Suddenly, Jeju spawns in, commenting on the joyous vibe. Burhan blinks. Oh right, the big-shot guildmaster of the GM Dealers Association. What now? Jeju drops the businessman act, claiming massive plots require status updates. Step 1. Locate their bitter rivals in the Parkle state. Step 2. Target their favorite grocery stores. Step 3. Aggressively monopolize every single crop grown this year while secretly vacuuming up market grains without triggering inflation alarms. Burhan smirks, choking out the enemy's lunchbox while keeping our own economy flawless. Gotta hand it to you, I have never seen anyone hoard groceries on this psychotic level. How do you even invent this? Jeju proudly explains the magical art of futures contracts, buying imaginary crops at fixed prices to dump them for massive profit later on. Burhan chuckles, genuinely impressed. Who knew these pesky adventurers could actually use their brains? Jeju soaks up the praise, then casually drops the bomb. His guild bet their entire existence on this wacky scheme. So about that juicy profit share they negotiated, cough it up, but Burhan's smile instantly freezes. He stands up, patting the poor player's shoulder. Whoa, there, eager beaver. Let's not rush. He tosses out a fake apology, claiming his schedule is totally booked. Let us revisit this invoice after the war, yeah. Jeju stammers, internally panicking, but Burhan instantly equips his menacing boss glare. Are you doubting my honor? Jeju takes massive emotional damage, grinding his teeth. Red flags are flying everywhere. This is profoundly bad. He speedruns an apology. Obviously not, Burhan points to the exit. Then shoo, the adults are working. Jeju sweats, bullets bowing as he retreats. Burhan wears the smuggest troll face imaginable until the door clicks shut. Once he is safely down the hall, Jeju literally punches the drywall. This toxic NPC freak, he mentally screams. He is trapped. The sunk cost fallacy is hitting hard. Now he just has to kiss boots and pray for the perfect opening. Hoarding that wheat burned through 500,000 gold. He blew the entire 50 billion won his daddy gave him, and it still wasn't enough to monopolize Arcadia's food server. He's running on pure hopium now. With this stash, he could easily ruin the Parkle Kingdom's entire meta. But his contract promises 10 million gold. That is literally 1 trillion won. If this quest fails, his guild gets deleted and the real-world GM group goes utterly bankrupt. His dad would probably disown him, so he had to run this Black Ops mission off the books. Jeju flexes his trembling hand, coping hard. Everything is fine, the war event will trigger. Just breathe. When the server goes to war, grain prices will hit the moon. This is not degenerate gambling, it is high IQ investing. Everything has to work, or he is flipping burgers. Suddenly, Yun casually strolls past him in his default skin. Jeju completely ignores him for a second, then violently double-takes, staring at the guy's back. Wait, what is that? Brain gears clicking, Jeju hits the sprint button, screaming at our boy to freeze. He drift corners around the exact spot Yun vanished, barking at him to halt. But when he scans the empty corridor, bro has straight up alt-forward out of existence. Jeju is totally baffled. He would recognize that garbage tier armor anywhere, even under an edgy cloak. That is literally the tutorial equipment noobs wear when they first log in. So why on earth is a level 1 nobody waltzing into the Duke's private quarters? This corporate heir is malding now. He is desperately trying to calculate what this random player is plotting and how he unlocked the Duke's storyline. Who is this filthy casual? And is this troll about to speed run, ruining Jeju's trillion won master plan? Panic mode activated, he flashes a tactical hand sign. Instantly, 2 edgy assassins spawn from the shadows, faces completely blurred out. He barks the order. Track that weirdo. Tail the Duke right now. If he is a player, drag his butt back here. The masked goons nod. Jeju glares, fuming with pure rage. Whoever this mystery punk is, he will not ruin my grand design. Meanwhile, in the VIP office, Burhan smirks. Ah, my golden goose has arrived. He waves a glowing scroll, flexing that Count Brocken himself sent this guy. And the noble count does not just endorse any random street rat. He sizes Yan up, asking why he is here. As the absolute top dog Duke of the Kingdom, he knows Yan would not dare waste his time or mock him without a brilliant reason. And Yan, flashing the most angelic, totally fake smile, he drops a nuke. Count Brocken is plotting your murder. Crack. Burhan crushes the scroll in absolute fury, demanding the motive. Yan stays ice cold, explaining the Count believes killing Burhan is the only way to stop a full-blown war. He even mapped out every single detail of the hit. Burhan flashes a villainous grin. Do you honestly expect me to buy this crazy fairy tale without a single shred of proof? Yan just chuckles. Come on, Duke. You already have a mountain of evidence hiding in your shadows. Burhan goes dead silent. He lowers his head and bursts into maniacal laughter. You are absolutely right. Satan pops out of Yan's hood, grumbling. I was the one planning to off the Duke. I was plotting the perfect strike when you crashed my party. Ellie chimes in. Does it even matter? The Duke is destined to kick the bucket anyway. Satan snaps back. Zip it, holy girl. He realizes Yan totally orchestrated this chaos on purpose. Yan flashes a wicked smirk, hushing the demon. Burhan sighs. Count Brocken, the ultimate poster boy for justice, secretly plotting my assassination. I am honestly kind of impressed by the sheer hypocrisy. Yan chuckles. That is the game. People always play dirty once they reach the absolute top. Burhan squints at him. So, Mr. Adventurer, did you share this juicy intel? Out of pure kindness? What is your real price? Yan fakes a shy blush. Is it not obvious a seasoned, ruthless boss like you should wear the crown? Not some snot-nosed royal brat who still needs a babysitter. Hearing this, Burhan is completely stunned. Then he absolutely loses it, laughing like a madman. Still grinning, he asks for our boy's name. Yan smoothly lies, call me Dex. They shake hands on it and Burhan practically drools over their future profits. Yan promises epic results, then instantly ghosts the castle, casually strolling down the street. Ellie is literally ugly crying, praying to the heavens. I cannot believe this. He lied straight to a duke's face and walked out like it was a casual Tuesday. She begs the gods to forgive this scam artist. Satan scratches his head. Why stir up all that epic drama just to dip out mid-conversation like a total scrub? Yan sighs, asking if they seriously do not see the big picture. I am just scouting the chessboard, tracking every single outcome. They gasp. No matter who cries or begs, war is inevitable. It is just a matter of which nation declares it first. And honestly, who starts the fire does not matter. Yan raises one finger. Only one thing matters. When the war goes full throttle, and the world descends into absolute chaotic madness, that is my time to feast. My profit margins will explode, just like that glorious slime disaster. Satan crosses his tiny arms. So more war equals more cash. Then why not just team up with the shady Duke? Before the demon can even finish his thought, Yan flashes a devilish grin, because that would ruin everything. If Duke Burhan takes the throne, the civil war ends. No enemies means zero profit. That is why I must back Count Brocken instead. Satan's brain short-circuits. What in the underworld are you babbling about? Then it clicks. The demon freezes. Wait a minute. He finally grasps our boy's demonic master plan. A normal war between nations is not enough for this absolute psychopath. He wants a bloody civil war tearing the kingdom apart. Yan beams like a proud villain. Imagine the glorious chaos. Think of the mountains of gold we will squeeze from the panic. A double war means double the loot. Satan's jaw drops to the floor. You are completely unhinged. The demon whips out a notebook, furiously scribbling notes. Rule 1. If you betray someone, betray everyone. Imagine being so evil that the devil takes notes from him. Meanwhile, our boy was totally chill. He was just stretching, dreaming about all the cash he was about to rake in. Suddenly, the local clowns roll up. They demand our hero tag along. So, we cut to GM headquarters. This corporate pawn Jigu is trying way too hard to act professional, asking Yun to take a seat. Yun flashes a fake smile, playing along. What an absolute honor to be invited by such a massive company. Jigu smiles back, praising his talent. But behind those fake smiles, both of them are thinking the exact same thing. This guy is hiding something. He is 100% up to no good. Yun cuts to the chase. Why is he really here? Jigu says they need to verify something, offering a fake apology. But Yun cuts him off. What exactly needs checking? Jigu drops the polite act. His face turns dead serious, interrogating him about Duke Burhan. Yun just smirks. He casually asks why the hell he should share that info. Jigu slams his fist on the table, absolutely fuming. He says Yun is taking way too long. Suddenly, he releases this insane, bloodthirsty aura that would make normal people wet their pants. Satan quietly warns our hero. If he stares at this psycho any longer, he will get ground into dust. Even Ellie is sweating, telling him to stop poking the bear. Yun glances at his spirits, wondering if he is overthinking. Then he assesses the battlefield. 2 masked goons inside, plus 5 more at the door. 7 mobs total, but first he needs to handle this raging boss. Player tags were hidden, but Jigu already slipped up. He is definitely not letting Yun walk out alive. Yun calculates his odds. If worst comes to worst, he can just pop divine descent. Seeing this tension, that idiot has escalated things. The lackey John finally chimes in. He tells our hero they only want to know if Yun got any secret quests from the Duke. Yun looks at John, thinking finally a mob with a functioning brain. He asks if that is really it, because his boss looked ready to commit straight-up murder. Jigu gets even more triggered and smashes the table again. He points a shaking finger at Yun. He warns that whatever connects him to the Duke, if he dares interfere with their grand plans or goes near him again. Yun interrupts with the cockiest smirk imaginable. What will happen then? Jigu is about to blow a gasket. He threatens that not only will his gaming career end, but his real life will become a total nightmare. Suddenly, John grabs his own boss by the collar. He orders him to chill out before he ruins everything. Jigu looks completely embarrassed and furious. John bows deeply, apologizing for the massive aggro. Their master sacrificed way too much to ally with Duke Burhen, so he is paranoid it will all crumble. John explains they are not some low-level trash guild. He asks our hero if he has heard of GM Group. Yun fakes a shocked gasp. Does he mean the legendary GM Group? John nods proudly, then slams a massive heavy bag of gold right onto the table. Yun stares at the shiny loot while John explains. Their massive corporation invested heavily in Arcadia, specifically in the Duke. He cannot leak the beta details, but hopes this bribe is enough. So, what does this unknown noob think? Do they have a deal? Hearing the word unknown, a wicked grin creeps onto Yun's face. He snatches up the money bag with zero hesitation, asking if he just needs to drop the quest. Jigu looks completely mind-blown while John smiles in relief. Cut to later that night in the dark forest. Satan is screaming, "What the heck was that? Do they actually want a guild war?" Ellie sighs. If he was just honest from the start, this would not happen. Sincerity is sacred after all. Yun just laughs. Everything worked out perfectly, plus free loot. He realizes GM Group changes the entire game board. They absolutely plan to exploit the upcoming war, either by grinding military ranks or making a shady deal with Duke Burhen. Honestly, not his problem. A massive war only means more experience points for him. But wait, he changed his mind. He is not going to sit back and let some pay-to-win players steal the glory. That just feels wrong. He turns to his spirits. Guys, I made my decision. I am going to assassinate Duke Burhen. Satan literally drops his jaw in shock. But Ellie is hyped. Finally, our boy is taking on a righteous quest. Satan completely loses his mind. Why is his master acting like a suicidal maniac? Why kill the boss? Can we not just farm in peace for once? But Ellie cuts him off. She eagerly asks when Yun will challenge the Duke to a noble duel. This is the perfect chance to keep his vow to Count Brocken. Yun sighs deeply. He told her 1,000,000 times he cannot challenge a Duke to a frontal duel. That aggroes the whole kingdom. They need to stealth, kill him in the shadows. Ellie's face instantly goes flat. She turns her back, pouting. If it is a dishonorable sneak attack, he gets 0 holy buffs from her. Yun panics. Wait. What? She literally calls him a filthy coward. Taking a life without even letting the target say their final words. Unacceptable. She refuses to lend him even a drop of divine magic. Yun is sweating bullets. Come on, she needs to look at the stats. The enemies are clearly the bad guys here. Just overlook the stealth penalty. This once Satan watches this comedy show, completely annoyed. Then a wicked idea strikes him. His demonic face lights up. He interrupts the holy debate, whispering a crazy plan to our boy, saying he is totally down to help. If Yun is cool with a little demonic spice. Yun is absolutely stunned, asking if the devil himself is for real. Satan just nods, confirming he can also grant that sweet divine descent ability. Then, faster than a heartbeat, he summons a glowing magic circle, asking if they should get this party started. Dark energy flares right beneath Yun. Suddenly, system screens burst into view. The notification declares, he has forged a pact with the underworld, granting temporary access to demonic skills. Boom. Another alert flashes, and our main character is grinning ear to ear, realizing this is pure gold. Satan casually floats on over, wondering if anything caught his interest. Yun nods, absolutely losing his mind with hype, realizing this is a total game changer. Heavenly skills are basically just dumb muscle and smashing things, but these dark arts, they are packed with insane utility and a crazy amount of bonus perks. One look at this skill tree, and our boy is completely sold. He whips around to Satan like, "Bro, why hide this? It would have been nice to know I had this exclusive menu." The devil just gives a totally casual shrug. "You never asked, so I kept my mouth shut. Plus, I doubted you even needed this edgy dark stuff anyway." Yun just gives him that blank stare. "Dude, what on earth made you think that?" Satan acts all innocent. "Well, you should have asked." Shaking his head, Yun goes back to browsing, joking that picking a demon Feels exactly like online shopping, and he is absolutely here for it. He jabs a finger at one icon, that one that looks top tier. Satan peeks over his shoulder, highly curious about the selection. Yoon casually mentions, reading up on this specific dude in the library's ancient history section. Ellie flutters over to see his cart, and all the color drains from her face. She panics, realizing he just picked the absolute worst one. The Legion of Death, the legendary Lich Argamer, this undead king, is literally a top-ranking underworld necromancer, a cursed warlock who drowned an entire continent in a sea of unending nightmares, casually deleting a massive empire and 4 kingdoms, like it was a Tuesday. Wherever his undead marched, only dust remained. Even centuries later, his name is whispered, like he is the Grim Reaper himself. Scene cut, Yun is chilling on a rooftop, scouting out the targets down below. 2 oblivious guards are walking their standard patrol route. Yun smirks, knowing these low-level mobs are the absolute perfect guinea pigs for his brand new toy. Suddenly, one guard glances up, catching a weird shadow. His buddy asks what is bugging him. The nervous guard just points up, at the roof. Their eyes widen as they spot a horrifying silhouette blocking out the moon, muttering that it does not look human at all. Showtime. Yoon activates Divine Descent. Lich Argamer. Boom. His entire body morphs into a nightmare. The guards instantly gag on the overwhelming death aura. Trembling, they scream at the rooftop, demanding to know what kind of monster he is. Ding. The system confirms the underworld boss has successfully hijacked the player's body, unlocking every single one of his catastrophic skills. Yoon just stands there, rocking this absolutely wicked skull mask, staring down like a god of death. He smirks, thinking this power trip is exactly what the doctor ordered. These stats are beautifully broken. The guard spots pitch black smoke swirling, instantly recognizing some insanely high-level black magic. Survival mode activated, time to go all out. He screams at his panicked partner, shouting that capturing this freak is completely off the table. It is way too powerful. The rookie cries out that they need to identify the intruder first. The veteran snaps back, sweating bullets, yelling that they are not exactly in a position to ask for identification right now. He draws a massive broadsword, terrified that one wrong move will let this demon completely wreck Duke Bond's estate. Yoon just stares down, with a villainous grin. Oozing dark magic, he whispers, "Let the show begin." With a flick of his wrist, he summons 2 colossal shadow beasts that dive-bomb the guards. Gritting his teeth, the veteran warrior summons a blinding light. He violently stabs his sword into the earth, casting Holy Shield to deflect the wave of darkness. Yun raises an eyebrow, slightly impressed. Well, look at that. I guess the rumors about Duke Bond's elite security were not totally fake. He calmly watches as the guard pumps holy mana into his blade and leaps skyward. Looks like a tiny paladin, wants to play hero. The guy unleashes a blindingly radiant shockwave, roaring that this nightmare ends right now. He triggers Divine Release, Blade of Justice. His weapon erupts with insane, pure, holy power. Yoon just gives a dark little chuckle. If that is your ultimate move, prepare to be severely disappointed. A crazed look flashes across his skull mask as he casts Spirit Spear. Instantly, a gigantic phantom demon materializes from the void and brutally skewers the paladin mid-air. The elite guard just stares down at the cursed spear jutting from his chest. Pure, unadulterated horror fills his eyes as he gasps for air. As his life force completely fades, he chokes out one final terrified warning. This monster is a necromancer. The rookie watches his partner drop and immediately nopes out of there, screaming bloody murder for backup. But he barely makes it 2 steps before our boy deletes him too. Wiping the floor, Yun dramatically commands, "Arise." He chuckles to himself, noting that necromancers are technically weak, but only until they start their collection. Drop their summons, the whole game completely flips. Sure, he is insanely overpowered, but nobody wants an entire angry army of guards crashing his solo party. He instantly spams Undead Rise on both fallen enemies, channeling Dark Aura to yank them straight from the grave. He pumps absurd amounts of shadow magic into them. Their boring gear gets an extreme makeover from the skill's effect. The glowing system chimes in. One basic zombie warrior and a spicy mid-level Death Knight Yan smirks at his new bony squad, telling you to smash that like button.